All right, hello, Facebook world. Yes, Darius, whenever you guys are ready. Let me pull it up on my end, so hold tight just a second, please. Okay. All right, Darius, I'm ready whenever you are. And for folks on the stream, we are going live on TV right now. All right, it's now 10:37. Chief Meteorologist Richard Scott here, and we got Nick Temple in the Weather Center with us as well. We are watching this severe weather event that's beginning to move into West Alabama. We had planned on going live at 11 o'clock, but we've already got severe weather beginning to move into our counties. We do have a tornado warning back in Monroe County, Mississippi. That is to the west of Lamar and Marion counties. Watching that with interest. We also have a severe thunderstorm warning now for Lamar and Marion counties in northwest Alabama. And what is going to happen now is this is probably going to be a blanket severe thunderstorm warning deal where the entire line itself will get severe thunderstorm warnings, and there may be a few embedded tornadoes involved with that as well. Tornado watch continues till 4 a.m. This is going to be out of our coverage area before 4 o'clock in the morning, but just understand there is the potential there for severe weather. The severe thunderstorm warning goes until, let's see, the time on that is 11:30, and that's again for Lamar and Marion. 11:30, winds up to 60 miles per hour. And Darius, I believe we just went to black there. There we go. And these storms are moving 65 miles per hour. That is an incredible speed on these storms, so they are really racing. So let's go to radar, and let's just show you what is coming at us. So again, there's a radar out of Columbus. Let's go in tight to these storms. And it'll be a deal where we work these storms until they come to an end. So we are not going anywhere on TV, social media platforms, or live. And I tell you what, Nick, there's certainly a little curlicue there with that tornado warning just south of Fulton, Mississippi there. So that's what we're watching. And Nick getting set up with us as we just get things ready for this. So, yeah, that spot right there about to move into Marion County, and that is something that looks very interesting. Let's go over to the velocity product. And yeah, that spot right there is going to make a run for Bexar and Scottsville across Marion County. Now, technically, there's not a tornado warning for Marion County, but I'll tell you this is a storm that has that look. It's got that kink in the line there. It has the potential for a tornado that's going to move just like that towards Bexar and Scottsville, eventually the Hackleburg area. Even Hamilton, I will say this, I think Hamilton is going to be just on the south side of a possible tornado, but we need to watch that very carefully. That's about to move into Marion County in West Alabama. Also, all up and down this line is the potential for damaging straight-line winds in excess of 60 miles per hour. The severe thunderstorm warning for this storm for Marion and Lamar counties for winds up to 60 miles per hour. So that's what we're watching all up and down this line here. So here's what we've got. So again, the start time, we've already started now. So between now and midnight for Lamar and Marion County, northwest Fayette, northwest Pickens County, Sumter County, including Geiger, ML, Livingston, York, up towards Utah, Tuscaloosa, Northport, Samantha, Gordo. That's 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. So really closer to 11:30 to 1 a.m. is your time frame, and that stretches up to Jasper and Double Springs. Down to the south, Linden, Demopolis. We're looking at Greensboro, Marion, Brent, Centerville, Lakeview, Coaling, Moundville. Midnight through 2 a.m. That is your window for potential for severe weather. So here's the watch warning map. Let me clear that data off. and you see the tornado warning back in East Mississippi. Now we have a severe thunderstorm warning for Marion and Lamar County till 11:30, and a tornado watch until 4 a.m. for all of central Alabama. Again, it gets out of our counties by 2 a.m., but that's the latest on that. So a number of severe thunderstorm warnings back in Mississippi. Here's what it looks like outside in Fayette. The temperature very warm at 70 degrees. A screaming south wind. It has been gusting to 30 miles per hour, sustained at 8 at Fayette at this hour. From Tuscaloosa, the wind sustained at 22 miles per hour. Out of the south, 71 currently out the door of Brandini and Tuscaloosa. So again, this line moves quickly. This is the 11:30 position, so in about 45 minutes, and that's where the line is. We'll go to 12:30. There it is. Again, from about Butler to Demopolis to Utah to Tuscaloosa to Jasper. And then 1:30, again, it's already moving to Camden, let's see, Clanton area, let's say the Chelsea area, east side of Birmingham towards Trussville. So that's at 1:30 in the morning. So this is going to move very, very quickly off towards the east tonight. So it's not going to last long at all. Again, pressure gradient winds gusting to 31 in Tuscaloosa, 35 back in Columbus. And, hey, we're nonstop right now. Again, on the website, WVUA23.com, Facebook, Richard Scott, WVUA23, and the WVUA23 page, as well as X. Just some information being posted on X. We're not live there. We got an app. We're all over the place now, so lots of places to get our nonstop updates. And if we have a tornado warning in Tuscaloosa County, we'll be on these radio stations, WJRD. 106.3 The Rock, 96.1 The Blessing, and 92.1 The Possum. Just some places you can get us. And again, we cover West Alabama nonstop in severe weather. So we got Nick Temple, who is here with us as well. And Nick, we've been watching these storms carefully. What you seeing over there?
Not seeing much different than what you've already been saying. I am seeing some power outages already in the West Alabama counties of Lamar and Pickens, just from the gusty winds that we've been seeing already today. I do want to point out and remind everybody that on the WVUA website, we do have area storm shelters. So if you are looking for a place to go, there is a list depending on your county. Plenty of places for you to go under each county as this starts to move its way through. These storms are going to be pretty fast moving once it enters into West Alabama. And the one thing about that is that a fast moving storm, it's less time to warn. So it's definitely a good idea to go ahead and find where you're going to go in the event that a tornado warning is issued for your area. So we'll continue to monitor and track as this continues to track its way into West Alabama.
All right, thank you, Nick. And again, good advice there to check out those sources for you as well. So I'll tell you what, this is the line of storms, and let me pan this off to the west just a little bit. And there's your line. It's quickly moving into West Alabama. There's a spot up here that has me concerned about to move into Marion County. And we are keeping a very careful eye on the National Weather Service chat room over in Birmingham and see if they decide to issue a tornado warning for that. Now, we've got some showers out ahead of the main line here. I'm not really concerned about those. You know, there's some thought that there may be a rogue supercell develop out ahead of the line itself, but quite frankly, there's just no instability, or there's not much. There's a little bit, but there's not much instability to really get an issue with individual supercells out ahead of the main line. Looks like another little kink forming there. You see that, Nick, over there by Starkville. So, you know, any of these little kinks within this line will need to monitor for the potential for a tornado that could develop. So let's go to our radar out of Columbus, and I think I am on Columbus. So let me go into the storm that's coming into Marion County. Oh, we got a tornado warning for northwest Marion County. We're just talking about that. So we do have a formal tornado warning that includes areas like Bexar, Scottsville, and Hackleburg. You're going to be under the gun. So let me stop this loop here. So if you're watching us in northwest Marion County, this is north of Hamilton. We have a tornado warning for a potential tornado right on the I-22 corridor. Now, this thing is to the west of Bexar by maybe about 3 miles. And while we do that, Nick, if you want to pull up the warning information and let us know what it says in that warning. But again, that's that there. It's moving across the state line. That's Highway 19. Highway 43 runs up through Hackleburg and up to Phil Campbell. That's where that warning is, Nick.
Yeah, so this warning is until 11:30. Again, it's for northern Marion County and northwestern Alabama. We could see some hail associated with it, and the storm is moving at 55 miles an hour. Locations, again, just going to read these back out to you. Hackleburg, Bear Creek, Tessner, Bexar, Pig Eye, Scottsville, and the Upper Bear Creek Reservoir. So if you're in any of those places, definitely start to take cover right now. Again, this is moving at about 55 miles an hour, and it's about 8 miles east of Fulton. So that expires at 11:30, so you have about 45 more minutes until you're in the clear there.
All right, and this is quick. It's not going to last very long there, Nick. So that's one good thing is this thing is racing off towards the east. So, again, let's pull on the velocity product and just look at this thing together. I want to see how the rotation looks. And really, this is a tiny eddy on this line of thunderstorms. And I will say this, most likely this will be a brief tornado. These typically aren't the ones that last very long, but it's to the point where, in fact, there's an eddy right there. There's one right on the Tremont area that's just to the west of the state line. Again, that's going to move over County Road 56. It runs down to the Bexar area. That's I-22 that moves into West Alabama. And again, that dangerous thunderstorm over the Tremont, Mississippi area, right on the north side of I-22 here, is about to move into Marion County. This is Marion County, Alabama. And again, the possible tornado is right there. So there's Scottsville. You see Bexar. Bexar is on I-22. Scottsville is in the very northwestern corner of the county. This possible tornado, which is a small eddy within the line, is what could produce a tornado in Marion County. Now, based off the signature, I would not expect this to be a long-lasting or violent tornado. But it doesn't matter. An EF0, EF1 tornado is still dangerous, and that's something that could be produced by a signature like that. In fact, Nick, this thing is kind of faded there in the last scan, so it's not as impressive. So still want you in your safe place if you're at Bexar north to Scottsville, Highway 19 that runs up into the northern part of the county. Tell you what, let's look at the debris, and let's make sure we don't see anything there. And I don't see any sign of debris being lofted by this possible tornado. And I say possible tornado because it is not confirmed. So we're zoomed into northwest Marion County. Let me take us back over to Columbus radar. And I want to just see. It looks like this thing may be in the process of diminishing. So, it's still a dangerous thunderstorm that could still produce a tornado. So we want you to be in your safe place. And again, that includes the lowest floor of your home. If you're in a mobile home, you want to get out of that and get in a site-built structure, lowest floor, middle of your house. You don't want any windows. You don't want any rooms with windows. So again, that's a possible tornado that's moving into Marion County. Nick, what was the speed on that? I think you mentioned the forward speed on how fast it was moving.
It was going 55.
55 miles per hour. So again, that is a fast motion. So let's do a track on this thing. And then show you where it's heading. So again, right now it's just west of the Bexar area, right about there. And let me redraw that. And move this laptop out of the way. So there we go. So again, that's where it is now, very close to Bexar. It's moving off towards the east at 55 miles per hour. So let's move this out. There we go. There's 55 there. So, again, these are the areas. And again, Nick mentioned these. Nick mentioned some of these. Pig Eye at 11:07, Hackleburg at 11:13, Bear Creek. And Bear Creek is right there on the Winston and Marion County line. You've got 11:22. Haleyville, you've got 11:27. And if this continues, you've got Double Springs in our counties. That's over in Winston County at 11:42. And again, there's Double Springs. See, the Grayson community is right on the north end of the county. That is 11:48. So those are the potential times of arrival for this possible tornado. Again, it's moving northeast or east at around 55 miles per hour. So let me take you out to a wide view and show you everybody out there, because I know there's other people that are trying to figure out what is going on with these thunderstorms. And Nick, we were talking about that spot near Starkville. Looks like they did issue a tornado warning for that. Are you seeing anything out of that storm on the Jackson chat? And let me know if you do. There's a lot of storms while you looked at look for that information. I think you're in Birmingham's chat watching that, so sorry to put you on the spot. So we got a line of storms that is capable of producing a few brief tornadoes and damaging straight line winds. It's moving into West Alabama. This will be a quick hitting event. This is not going to last very long at all, but the potential is there for a few tornadoes. And again, there's a new tornado warning down in Oktibbeha County. Nick, what you got?
Yeah, so they saw a slight bulge along the southwest of Oktibbeha County. If you wanted to zoom in there, that's where they issued the tornado warning. There hasn't been many or much information otherwise, but I'll continue to keep up to date. And if I see any storm reports come out of Starkville and Oktibbeha County.
And Nick, have you seen any damage reports back in Mississippi? Just curious if these storms have any kind of ground truth. In other words, are seeing any kind of major damage or anything back there from the Jackson National Weather Service?
Per the chat, I haven't seen anything quite yet.
Okay.
But I'm going to keep an eye on it here. I know as it continues to progress, we'll start to see more things. But right now, I'm not seeing much.
That's good. That's a good thing. And, I mean, of course, we're late at night. It's 10:52 now. And, you know, it may be a deal where the fact that it's late at night may not get a lot of reports at this time. But, again, it's at least encouraging to see that there's not a whole lot of reports coming out of Mississippi so far. Hopefully that trend will continue. So let's go back into that storm. And again, while I show this wide area, you see right now Tuscaloosa up to Jasper, back towards Gordo and Reform. You're still okay, but you got storms coming your way. And the line is oriented from northeast to southwest. So we will work this line as it comes on through. This won't last very long. This will be a pretty quick event for our areas. These storms are racing at about 50 to 60 miles per hour off to the east. So again, we still have a tornado warning for the northern end of Marion County for these little eddies that are trying to develop within this line of thunderstorms. You can kind of see those little swirls there. Those could produce brief tornadoes. You can see that clearly in reflectivity, one just north of Scottsville, then one that's over the Scottsville area. So these little spots are what is capable of producing maybe an EF0, EF1 type of tornado. And let's look at the velocity. Again, there's one there. There's one over Scottsville. Now, I'll be honest, they're not very impressive, but it could easily translate down to the ground to a brief tornado. Again, there's one just to the north. You see it right there. And then there's one that's over the Scottsville area. So we need you in shelter. Even though I'm saying this isn't a very impressive signature, it doesn't really matter. We see sometimes in the springtime these violent tornado type of signatures. And see that report of some trees down in the Hamilton area. Now, that's ahead of the storm, so most likely that is pressure gradient winds, and that is strong winds produced by a difference of pressure across the area, and we've noticed that all day today. Winds have been howling. So again, two potential rotations, one that's north of an area that's outside of Marion County, but again, there's one that's right over Scottsville, and the potential is there for a brief tornado. So again, the one to the north, again, that's going to be impacting southern Franklin County, but this is over Marion County near Scottsville. So this is going to cross Highway 19, 187, and then basically run parallel to Highway 43 towards Hackleburg. Now, Hackleburg, very hard hit by a violent EF5 tornado on April 27th of 2011. That was a terrible disaster there in that part of Marion County, and again, that went up through Phil Campbell. And what a terrible tornado. This is not the same type of tornadic situation. So I just want to give you at least some kind of comfort that this isn't a home leveling type of tornado. This isn't one that will wipe out everything. This is a tornado that will do significant damage to a mobile home. That's why we want you out of that. But to a site-built structure, if you get in that interior room or in that closet, most likely you're going to be perfectly fine. So put a helmet on. We always tell people to do that. Hard sole shoes if you have to walk through tornado debris. And hopefully you won't have damage where you are, but just know the potential is there for a tornado. So we just want you to take those precautions in case there's one down. Again, I'm not really impressed with the signature right now, but that being said, it's not impossible to get a brief tornado with that. And we've been saying all along that this is not a tornado outbreak. This is not a type of night where we're going to have numerous tornadoes all over Alabama. This is going to be a night where we have damaging straight line winds, some trees and power lines come down, and we'll have these eddies that form within the line itself that could spawn a tornado. And typically with a set up like this with very little surface-based instability. Typically, tornadoes like this don't last very long, so that's at least one good thing for you. They don't typically last long, and they are short-lived. So again, let's go down this line here, and we'll see that tornadic storm that's near Starkville. And again, I'm not very impressed by that. It's now east of Starkville, coming up on Artesia, Mississippi. There's Columbus. This is West Alabama. We've got Lamar County, Vernon, Millport, Kennedy right there. And then we've got Pickensville, Ethelsville, Carrollton, Reform, and Gordo. And quite frankly, I'm just not that impressed by that signature there that's to the southeast of Starkville. National Weather Service office in Jackson did post a tornado warning for that, as least course regret that there could be a brief tornado touchdown. Let me switch radar. Let's go to Columbus. And goodness, it just does not look like a tornadic signature that's blown through Starkville. Nick Temple with us too. Have you heard anything from East Mississippi yet in terms of any kind of damage?
I have
Curious
heard
if
some
anything's
things
come
more
in. Go ahead.
on the southern part of the line near Rankin County. There has been some reports of some trees down. That would be the storm that would be approaching our Sumter counties here, but it doesn't seem like it's strong right now. So basically just wind damage at this point. We are seeing significant damage from trees on houses and things like that in the Jackson chat. So keeping an eye on that as we start to get a little bit more reports in. And I think that's good to note that even though these might not be very strong tornadoes, the wind is still going to be the main factor here that could cause the damage. Trees and things like that close to homes.
Yeah, if you got a tall tree by your house, Nick, I mean, that could cause a big problem very quickly. And, we want you to treat these things seriously, severe thunderstorm warnings. And, again, we do have technically a tornado warning. Let's see. So they're going to, the National Weather Service just put a message in the chat room. They're saying on this storm in Marion County, storm has not produced a tornado at this time on the Alabama side, and does appear that it is weakening. It could re-intensify. There's other circulations to the north that we mentioned over Franklin County. So again, let's zoom out. Let's show a wide view and just show you who all is in the path of what. So again, I do see Franklin County that did decide to issue a tornado warning. That's north of Marion County. That's outside of our coverage area. That's the Tennessee Valley County, Huntsville TV market. And again, this line of thunderstorms continues to move towards West Alabama, beginning to cross over now in our far northwest county. So let's tell you what, let's take us a little tighter and show you. That's Pickens County. That's Lamar County. And then Marion County, just up the top of the screen here. Let me pan down just a little bit. And there you go. We got a very distinct eddies, two of these right now that's in on the Franklin and Marion County line. There's certainly a dangerous line segment of strong to severe thunderstorms coming into northern Lamar County and western Marion County. So let's look at these storms here. There's again, you see these little curlicue features that's forming on this line itself, and that's what the National Weather Service office is concerned about, is these brief embedded tornadoes, and I think that's what we've got here. And let's look at the velocity and just make sure the one in Marion County is not trying to ramp back up. And it is not at all. So what's left of that circulation is on Highway 19. That's in the far northern part of Marion County. This is north of Hamilton. You got Hackleburg right there. You got Phil Campbell that's over on the Franklin County side right there, as well as Hodges. And again, there's a Red Bay. There's two little rotations right here in Franklin County. And then you got a signature that has come through the Bexar-Scottsville area, but again, it is not that impressive right now, so I'm honestly surprised that we've still got a tornado warning for Marion County. This thing has just not done anything at all. And then something good, a note is for Lamar County, there's no sign of a tornadic signature approaching you, so let's go down to the south. But again, if you're in Marion County, we want you in shelter now the northern end of the county, as we still have the possibility for a tornado. If there's a warning there, we want to treat it like there could be a tornado. Even though I'm saying I don't see much of a signature there, there could be some changes. Now, what's coming into Lamar County is, again, some gusty winds. Goodness, Nick, I mean, looking at the velocity product here, I don't see anything that's that strong in terms of a widespread damaging wind. Are you seeing that too, Nick? On the velocity product, just doesn't look that impressive to me right now. But, of course, that could change.
Yeah, in the Jackson chat, they just did issue a tornado warning for some more counties in central and east central Mississippi, approaching Lauderdale County. That's the more southern part of that line of storms there. So it's still continuing to watch that down there as it continues to develop and get closer to Sumter and Greene, approaching that state line there. But we are still seeing those tree reports that are coming down. And then also our power outage map is still starting to illuminate too. So I'm starting to see some wind knocking out those power lines. We have about 800 people in Lamar County out of power, about 600 in Pickens County. So the wind is definitely doing its thing right now, and power is starting to go out. So definitely starting to see some impactful things from the wind from this storm.
Yeah, and some of that, the power outage we're getting, Nick, the reports are for pressure gradient winds that are not necessarily related to the thunderstorms themselves. So it's interesting to see the maps here from Alabama Power where the power is going out. But certainly within this line, we're probably going to see some outages. There's that tornado warning see back there that's to the west of Meridian, Mississippi. So again, we're kind of getting a problem here that the intense line of storms moving right over the radar site. So if you look at the line, all of a sudden it looks like it's just falling apart. Well, the reason for that is there's so much rain. There's a rain fade on the satellite, the radar dome itself. So imagine it is absolutely pouring on the radar dome. Well, some of that energy can't get out, and we lose that. So as soon as that line, that's the radar right there at the tip of my finger. That's in Monroe County, Mississippi. So as soon as that line segment gets past that, you'll likely see this thing beef back up just a little bit. So it's interesting to watch that phenomenon happen. And again, if you're not trained in this stuff, you would think, well, this line is just weakening and fizzling out, and may not be the case at all. So let's go to Jackson's radar, because we do note there is a tornado warning, a very large tornado warning back here to the west of Meridian. And that line, I'll tell you what, that storm there sure looks impressive. Now, there is higher instability in that part of Mississippi. And, we got these cells out ahead of this line, Nick. I don't know if you got a radar product pulled up over there, but we certainly need to keep an eye on any of this stuff out here for any sort of rotational signatures. I don't see any screaming signs of that right now. But this is in Mississippi, and the reason I want to show you this, just want to see what's coming out of our West Alabama counties. Let's look at, let's take storm relative velocity. Man, this just, given the radar presentation, I would think there would be a screaming rotation with that, but man, that is, it doesn't look like a tornado at all. Wow, that's interesting. Given the radar, I would think there would be just a screaming evidence of a rotation there, as this looks like a classic tornadic signature. So that's good, but we're going to carefully monitor that as it moves towards Alabama. So let's go back to our counties. We still technically have a tornado warning for Marion County. We want to go up to that. We'll take a Columbus radar, which unfortunately is going to give us a terrible advantage for right now, but it's going to get better soon. Again, no issues happening for Tuscaloosa, Fayette, Walker, down to the south. There's no problems down here yet. There's a tornado watch until 4 o'clock in the morning. There's your line of thunderstorms. It's sitting right on top of the radar site. So unfortunately, we're going to kind of have some rough data for about 5 or 6 more minutes, and then we'll get our good data back. And you see there's a radar dome right there, and it is just absolutely coming down on that radar site. So until this storm moves past it, we're going to have some rough data just for a few minutes. But let's look at this thing together. Let's go up to the north, and still technically we've got a tornado warning that includes really the only part of Marion County is Hackleburg and Bear Creek. It does not include any part of Winston County, and there's also a tornado warning up here in Franklin County. This is North Alabama. This is the Huntsville TV Markets district here. We want to just, that's outside of our zone. This is our area. We're the top fringe of our coverage area. So let's look at the velocity product with this and see if there's anything coming back on to us here. And I see nothing at all, Nick. I mean, look at the velocity. There's nothing there. But again, we still want to treat it like there could be something, maybe some strong, powerful winds up to 60 miles per hour. Based off of that, I would say there's no tornado with that. You know, just maybe something could spin up, but I just don't see it. It's been too long. There's too long of a duration for another tornado. And I see the National Weather Service here. We're in a chat room with the National Weather Service office in Birmingham, and I see they are in discussion with us, and they're watching this storm with great interest, as well as we are. But that's good. I like to see that. There's no sign of rotation. I know technically Hackleburg, Lumble, and Bear Creek, you're still technically under a tornado warning. But based off that signature, I just don't see much evidence there could be a tornado down with that. That could change, though, Nick. Anything you coming out with power outages in Marion County? Have you seen anything up there?
So Marion, not many. Still seems to be Lamar and Pickens. But what I did do, Richard, is I pulled up the Mississippi power outage map, too, just to kind of see where they were looking at. About 41,000 in Mississippi, and it's crazy. You can see the actual line of the storm and the path along the power outages. So I'd anticipate that we're going to continue to see more power outages as this moves across into West Alabama as well. Seeing as, you know, that storm that's coming through is producing some powerful wind as it moves through.
Nick, are most of the power outages in Mississippi, are they the northern part of the line that's coming into West Alabama now, or is it more towards Jackson?
It's more towards Jackson.
Okay, so that's where the higher instability, the Cape values are down there to the south. So that is good to see. What are you seeing to the north, like Starkville area, West Point, Mississippi? What are you seeing over there?
Starkville, not much. The Monroe County, that's the northern point. Yep. It has a few out, about 1,000 out without power. That seems to be the most in that part of Mississippi.
And that's that part that had that little line segment with a tornadic signature. So it would make sense that they would have some more power outages. So again, look, I'm not telling people let your guard down yet, but I am seeing that at least something slightly encouraging for the northern part of Mississippi, what is coming into our West Alabama counties. We're not seeing a tremendous amount of damage back here. But we still want to take these storms seriously. They come into West Alabama for the potential for a tornado or damaging straight line winds. So this is a wide view. Just want to show you everybody out there again for the Birmingham Metro East. It's going to be a little while for the storms to get to you. But I will say this line itself, and I'll tell you what, let's do something here. And Nick, if you want to pick out the severe thunderstorm warning for Lamar County and tell me the forward speed on that, I'm going to stop this loop and let's do a track on this whole line. The severe thunderstorm warning? Yeah, the severe thunderstorm warning. I'm trying to check the forward speed on this thing.
65 mile an hour.
And is that east?
More northeast.
Okay, northeast. So let's do that. 65 miles per hour. So that is right there. So in 1 hour, okay, in 1 hour from now, this storm will be in this area right here. So again, what time is it? 11:09 right now. So at 12:09, that's where it's going to be. 12:03 in Fayette, Aliceville 12:25. Northport area around 1:16. So that's what time this line of thunderstorms is going to be where you are. So again, that is a 65 mile per hour motion there. So just give you an update of where these storms are going. And these are general time of arrivals for the leading edge of the storms. This is where the stronger winds are located. Go ahead, Nick.
Get an indication that the line of storms is approaching Pickens and Sumter within the next 30 to 45 minutes. Right now, it's just producing pockets of strong winds, but it could be a tornado risk depending on how it evolves. So definitely keeping an eye on that. I'm keeping an eye over here, too. Just wanted to put that on your radar, too.
Okay, so again, one thing I'm seeing is the lack of reports across North Mississippi. Now, we've got a lot more damage down towards Jackson Metro where there's a higher level of instability, and that is where we expect a better probability for severe weather. But again, technically, we still have a tornado warning for the northern and eastern fringe of Marion County, but quite frankly, there's no rotation there with this thunderstorm. So I can tell you now, if you're in Hackleburg or Bear Creek area, there goes a warning, so just expired. So National Weather Service seeing what we're seeing, there's just nothing there in terms of a damaging tornado. But still, we have the potential for some really strong winds coming through Hackleburg and Hamilton right now. So let's tell you what, let's go down this line. And let's just look at this thing together. There's Hackleburg, you see right there. There's Haleyville, Bear Creek area right there. And this line of thunderstorms will be capable of producing some strong damaging winds as it moves into West Alabama. And hopefully we'll get through this thing without any major issues. Okay, so the Weather Service, they just put a note in the chat room, Nick, and they're saying, tornado warning canceled in Marion County. Rotation is not existent. We saw that. We've been seeing that for the past 20 minutes. The rotation just died out. There's no tornado there. But the chance of a damaging straight line wind still continues for Hamilton if you're in Brilliant, Winfield, Ewan. Even if you're over in the Haleyville area on the Winston County side, this is going to move your way pretty soon. Down to the south in Lamar County, we've got very heavy rain, strong wind potential coming through Detroit, Sulligent, the Beaverton area. This goes up and down Highway 17 towards Vernon. You got at the very bottom of your screen, Millport and Kennedy. That sits on Highway 96. You've got Highway 17 that runs into 96 right at Kennedy. You go to the west to Millport, turn north, and you go up to Vernon. That's Highway 17. Highway 96 keeps on going straight to Columbus, Mississippi. Down to the south, again, you got Ethelsville, Reform, and Gordo. There's no severe thunderstorm warning for you. There is a tornado warning back to the west in portions of Lowndes County, Mississippi, and Oktibbeha County, Mississippi. But again, quite frankly, I see no sign of rotation with that. I would be very surprised if there's a tornado down. Nick, go ahead.
Yeah, so that tornado warning in Oktibbeha County near Starkville has just expired, so they're not going to continue that.
Yeah, so that's good timing. So no tornado warning with that. Severe thunderstorm warning, they've got a standard warning with this for Marion and Lamar County. Winds at 60 miles per hour, potentially within this line of thunderstorms. Hopefully we'll get through this line without any problems at all. But again, that's the latest on that. Go down to the south, and again, if you are in southern Pickens County, you've got about 30 minutes or so to go before this line gets to Pickensville, Memphis, and Aliceville in the Cochran area. Go down to Geiger and ML. You got a tornadic thunderstorm that's west of you, but again, based off of what I'm seeing on radar, it just does not look that impressive. Tell you what, let's go over to our watch warning map, and let me take this data off the screen for you. And the red polygons, those are tornado warnings. You've got Franklin County in North Alabama, tornado warning. That's outside of our area. In Alabama, in our counties, we've got Lamar and Marion. Those are severe thunderstorm warnings. Winds potentially up to 60 miles per hour in spots. Not everybody's going to get that. And then we have a tornado warning that Nick just mentioned has been canceled. It's still showing up, but it's been canceled for Oktibbeha and Lowndes County, Mississippi. We've got Lauderdale and Kemper County, Mississippi. And just to the west, under a tornado warning, that's to the west of Meridian. And then a slew of severe thunderstorm warnings continues up and down the state line there that goes just north of Hattiesburg, Mississippi. So again, the counties in yellow, that is a tornado watch. And underneath the tornado watch, there's a wind advisory. The winds continue to gust up to 30 to 35 miles per hour. And those winds will continue to gust tonight until this line gets past you. And then most likely the winds will begin to settle down just a bit. So again, for people just now joining us, I'm Richard Scott. We got also Nick Temple, who's with us here in the studio, and we're watching this severe weather situation come across Alabama. And we're going to stay here with you until this comes to an end. This will be a fast event for West Alabama counties as this line of thunderstorms is racing eastward at a very fast clip. Now, Again, you see the counties and warnings now. There are no tornado warnings in our entire coverage area, but we will stay here for you as the potential for damaging winds will continue out there tonight. Here's how it looks out the door in Fayette. Temperature 70 degrees outside, south wind at 11 miles per hour. See the American flag whipping in the wind. This is at the Pfeiffer facility looking off towards the northwest direction. And again, the co-op sits right there. And again, you got downtown Fayette off in the distance. This is on the southeast side of town. And it's warm. Again, that's also the high for the day. 70 at Bryant-Denny and Tuscaloosa. And so far, the Walk of Champions, the road right beside the stadium, is all dry. But I do expect that to change tonight as thunderstorms move in. Everybody's going to get these storms for tonight, and we will deal with these overnight. So we're going to stay here with you until these storms do come to an end. And I'll tell you why we do that. I want to check in with Nick. And Nick, what kind of reports you seen back in Mississippi?
I'm seeing a lot of videos on Twitter here, or X that is, of a lot of some, windy conditions out there. Reports of some trees down. Trees tend to be like our main thing that we're seeing right now, very isolated areas. But continuing to still watch, and if I pull up the Mississippi power outage map, again, most of the power outages are concentrated to the southern parts of Mississippi where that line of storms is. So continuing to watch that. We are seeing a little bit more into the northern parts as well. I'm looking at the Alabama power outage map, still not that many, but we're starting to see it illuminate a little bit in Lamar County. About 1,000 people are out of power in Pickens County as well. Just about 600 people without power. So still seeing some power outages that is associated with just the windy conditions that we're seeing at the moment. We're continuing to keep an eye on the radar as well for the storm that it's moving towards Sumter and Pickens County within the next 30 to 45 minutes. At this moment, Richard, I'm not seeing any debris signature. I'm not seeing anything worth noting at the moment. We're continuing to look at the chat and seeing what they're saying.
And you said there's 1,000 power outages over in Lamar County?
That's correct.
Okay, so there's some power outages in spots out there, but in terms of a major widespread issue, some of these actually came earlier today because of the pressure gradient winds, and those winds are really continuing to gust across the region. We'll take you over to our model data, and let's just look at this thing together. And this is the storms coming in through tonight. Here is 12:30. At that point, storms lined up from about Livingston to Utah to Tuscaloosa. That is at 12:30, so in about an hour from now, a little bit more than an hour from now. And by 2 a.m., let's go to 2 o'clock, and your storms are lined up from, all the way down in Grove Hill, Alabama, up to Selma, to Clanton, to about Pell City area. So they will be totally clear from West Alabama by that point. And I'll tell you what, I just want to look at the temperatures and see kind of where we stand. It's warm outside, still 70 in Tuscaloosa. Just looking at some of the conditions out there across the region. And I'm seeing still some gusty winds. Let me put on the satellite and radar. Just kind of see this whole storm system evolve. And it is moving eastward very quickly now. And that will continue as these storms move on. I'm looking at some of our cameras, too, that are here in West Alabama. And I tell you what, our not seeing any lightning yet from our Fayette camera, Nick. So far, not a whole lot of lightning, but I can imagine we'll start seeing some pretty soon. We are pointing in the direction of those storms. Let's see. Go over to watch warning map and just show you what we've got again. Right now, we have no tornado warnings across our local area. We have the potential for a few brief tornadoes across West Alabama, and we'll maintain that risk as these storms move on. Right now, we have a severe thunderstorm warning for Lamar County and Marion County in northwest Alabama, and a tornado watch that continues across all of our area until 4 a.m. But again, in terms of the severe weather issues, those are going to come to an end very quickly as this line moves through. It doesn't last very long in any one spot. So tell you what, let's go back over the satellite and radar, and let's just look at this thing together. And the forward speed of this line is really going to pick up. The main concern area is, quite frankly, going to be the further south you go, where there is some unstable air. the potential for a tornado a little higher there. Also the potential for damaging straight line winds. Now we do know there's some showers and storms forming out ahead of the main line, and we'll have to see if this does anything to help limit the severe weather along the line itself. Understand all this rain right here can kind of suck up some of that unstable air leading ahead of those storms. So anything we can do to choke off the updrafts of these thunderstorms would be a good thing. But again, so far, these are still looking pretty beefed up back in Mississippi. And we'll just have to see how long this continues. So, again, there's your line of thunderstorms. Technically do have that tornado warning back in parts of Lauderdale and Kemper County, Mississippi. We got a tornado warning up in Franklin County. That's north of our area. But your line of storms is moving on. And remember what I told you a few minutes ago, as the line of storms moves past the radar side, you see how that line looked like it weakened and then all of a sudden it comes back. That is that rain fade we're talking about, right on the radar dome itself, that golf ball looking feature that surrounds the radar itself. And as rainfall is very heavy on that, it just can't really get through that as much. And there's a lot of heavy rain just out in front of it, so it robs up all the energy of the radar beam itself. So that's what we have got. Now, if you are in Tuscaloosa, Jasper, you probably got about, I'd say, an hour, maybe an hour and a half to go before these storms move in. So let's go back tied into these thunderstorms and show you who is dealing with what. And by the way, it is almost Sunday morning. I've got about 37 minutes to go until it's Sunday morning officially. So still got a few more minutes to Saturday night. So let's go into these thunderstorms tight. And again, if you are in Scottsville or Bexar, you can go to bed. There's no problems now to your west, Detroit. Even in Sullivan, the severe weather potential is coming to an end. And Nick, I tell you what, have they issued a severe thunderstorm warning for Fayette County yet? I have not seen anything.
They have not.
Okay. So that's a good sign. Perhaps that's a sign that the National Weather Service may not blanket this thing with severe thunderstorm warning. So we'll just have to see. I would imagine the lack of reports would indicate that there's not as much wind with that storm, Nick. That's what I'm thinking anyway.
Yeah, the only update is continuing the one for Lamar and Marion counties until 11:30.
Okay. And again, I'm just checking with the National Weather Service. So we are on a chat room with the National Weather Service office in Birmingham. Just checking Facebook live feed here, and several questions about, did the cloud cover help us today? The sun actually came out at my house for a while, and it got warm quick. And, it's really not the fact that the cloud cover was there. It's the fact that really the dew point's a little lower across West Alabama compared to some of our more classic severe weather events, and perhaps that's helping keep that instability a little bit lower. The air temperature is still 70 here in the Tuscaloosa area and up and around Fayette too. So 70-degree temperatures is just fine. Now, if you had a dew point of about 68, 69, then I think this might be a little bit of a different situation for that. Wow, it is dead quiet in Lamar County and Marion County. We have not heard of any report. We're just checking with the National Weather Service just to make sure, hey, are you guys getting anything? And Nick, I'm not seeing anything out of these storms, so that is a wonderful thing. I'm happy to report that. Now, that being said, we do not want to let our guard down. Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, definitely don't want to let our guard down, because I'm still monitoring the Jackson chat and what we're seeing over there in Mississippi. Oktibbeha County EMA, that's in Starkville, Mississippi, they're starting to see some reports, a power line down and a tree down. One of them is on a vehicle. Otherwise, there hasn't been any other significant damage reports, but that's still a pretty relevant and new developing report. But that is not a tornado warning anymore there, so it is weakening, but just showing that it is producing some damage as it moves across there.
Yeah, that's going to be more...
that would be towards Pickens.
Yeah, that would be coming up towards Pickens County, western Pickens County. So just checking. In fact, we've got several EMA folks with us, emergency management folks with us over in Lamar County. That's on the National Weather Service chat room. That's what I've got pulled up beside me here on my computer. And they are... Okay, so Birmingham is going to issue a downstream severe thunderstorm warning based off the potential for strong damaging winds, but really, quite frankly, it's not overly high at this point. But still a nasty line of thunderstorms coming on through. But the Weather Service is going to issue a severe thunderstorm warning for Fayette County, probably Walker and Winston, and they may trigger for Pickens as well. So let's go down into Pickens County area. Let's look at the velocity. Just want to see the wind, make sure we don't see any sign of a couplet developing in terms of rotation within this line. And I don't see anything there that would scream a tornado. So if anything, we're going to see strong damaging winds. So only one report in Marion County of a power line down in the Hamilton area, but that's it. There are no reports coming out of Lamar County and Marion County other than just a power line down. So that's it so far. Hopefully that trend will continue. If we can get through this whole night without any problems, that would be a wonderful thing. See some trees down in Bear Creek. And just maybe that could have been pressure gradient winds because that was earlier when that came in. So there's your severe thunderstorm warning. Nick, will you pull up that severe thunderstorm warning and let me know what you got there?
Yes, has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for Pickens County in west central Alabama and Fayette County until 12:30. Okay. And that storm's moving at 60 miles an hour.
So they just put Pickens and Fayette in there. They didn't put Winston?
That's correct.
Okay.
Just Pickens and Fayette.
So Pickens County and Fayette County, West Alabama, being issued under that severe thunderstorm warning. Get no sign of a tornado with this. This is a damaging straight line wind potential. And, okay, so that was more of a damaging straight line wind potential coming in. So let's go back into this line tight and let's just track this thing along with you. And Nick, you did say 60, right, on that line forward speed?
That's correct. Okay,
so again, let's start you in northwest Alabama, and let's kind of work our way down this whole line itself. And this is a 30-minute radar loop, by the way. This is a 30-minute duration of time. So started here, it's now there in 30 minutes. So that kind of gives you an idea of the quick forward speed there. If you're in Haleyville, got some rough weather coming in, Double Springs and Lynn, the Arley community in Winston County. This line is bearing down on you. Got a couple of kinks in the line forming there just to the northwest of northwest of Fayette. That's to the south and west of Winfield. We'll have to watch those carefully, but no major signs of a tornado right now. If anything, just some strong straight line wind potential up to around 60 miles per hour. With that, it's blown through Sullivan and Vernon. Down to the south, we got Pickens County now under a severe thunderstorm warning. The entire county, all the way down to the Sipsey River, for the potential for damaging straight line winds. And again, this is blown through Columbus. This is near the Ethelsville-Machan area. And then you got Reform and Gordo. Gordo sits right there, Reform there. You got Highway 17 that runs from Millport down to the south through Palmetto. You got, again, Reform, Carrollton, Aliceville. This goes down to the southern part of the area near the Memphis community in southern Pickens County. And again, this is about to cross the Tombigbee River in Pickens County. Pickensville, the Tombigbee runs through that. And then this is going to be bearing down on Reform and Gordo very soon, as well as Carrollton. So again, the main issue that I'm seeing is strong damaging winds here. I don't really see much of a sign of a tornado with this line itself. And down to the south, we got this thunderstorm that's formed in the DeKalb, Mississippi area. This is Lauderdale County. This is Kemper County. This is Knoxville. You got Shuqualak, Scuba up and down Highway 45, runs down to Meridian. And tell you what, just for interest, let's make sure there's no sign of rotation with that. And I don't see anything there that's overly concerning, so that's good. Let's see. All right, so let's go up to Lamar County. Birmingham National Weather Service office is watching this little surge of wind there that's in Lamar County. There it is right there. Now, that looks suspicious. That could be a brief tornado trying to develop. So let's go in real tight to that. Again, this is about to move into northern Fayette County. So there it is. Again, you got to watch that little feature right there. That could be a quick EF0 type of tornado coming up on Bluff, Bobo, and the Winfield area, as well as Hubbardsville. So that's it right there. It's not much. If anything, this could be a brief EF0 or EF1 type of tornado, not a violent one, but still, there's something that could be in the process of developing. Let's look at the debris. And I don't see anything there, but again, it certainly bears watching with this little wind surge, this eddy that's forming within this line of storms itself. And goodness, Nick, I would be willing to bet all night there's going to be these little eddies that form on the line, and they're just going to be hard to detect. Very difficult to detect. I don't see any debris yet, but the velocities, no doubt, there's a little wind surge trying to form there. And what you have is strong winds blowing outside the thunderstorm. You got a slight inbound wind. You get a little circulation form right there on the northern end of it, and it could produce a quick tornado. Not one that would last long, but let's watch in northern Fayette County. This would not include downtown Fayette. This would be north of there. You go up Highway 43 towards Bobo, and you go up towards the Winfield area. That's where we're talking about. This is north of there, really from Bluff north into the southern part of Marion County. That's Guin, Winfield. You got Tucker. That's I-22 that runs into Walker County, to Eldridge and Kansas and Nauvoo area. Again, a little bitty circulation that's trying to form there. And again, there's technically no tornado warning with that, but it's just something to monitor. And I tell you what, anybody on my Facebook Live, if you don't mind, if you have any kind of damage or if you have really strong wind where you are in terms of the thunderstorms, then just let me know what you got. That would greatly help the warning process and help people downstream know what is coming at them. So here's a new update. Again, there's still a little wind surge right there in the northern part of Fayette County, moving out of Lamar County. And this is just about totally out of Lamar County. There's Sullivan and Beaverton on 278 that runs up to Guin. There's Vernon down there, Hattagi there. Again, this is all east of you. But there's a new update. Let's look at the debris, make sure we don't have anything there. And I don't see anything. And based off proximity to radar, okay. So, Weather Service, they're closely watching this. They don't think it's quite to the point of producing a tornado, and I agree with them. This is probably not one that's going to produce a quick tornado right now, but it could if it spins up a little more, just no inbound winds. All right, so let's go back over to a wide view, and let's look at this entire line itself. Let me switch back over to radar. Let's take Columbus. So there's your line of thunderstorms, continues to work on in. This is fast. This is a very quick line of thunderstorms. It's already moved into western Pickens County. It's almost totally through Lamar County in Marion County. This is not going to take very long to pass through your area. Again, coming into western Pickens County now, but for Walker and Tuscaloosa counties, we've got about 45 minutes to go or less before these storms get into the heart of those counties. I'd say 30 minutes, and the storm's going to be right through there. Nick, we got you here with us in the studio. Nick, any kind of updates on power outages in Lamar and Marion?
The good news is there hasn't really been any big updates. It's been pretty much the same, about 1,000 people out in Lamar. Pickens, same number, about 600 people. So that is good news that we're not seeing it continue to uptick as it moves its way in. I've definitely seen it differently before. I'm also monitoring the chat and X as well to make sure, or Twitter that is, to make sure that there isn't any new reports coming out. And aside from the trees that we've been seeing and maybe isolated things, it doesn't look like I'm seeing any other reports as well. So
that's what I like to hear. That's good news. So again, line of thunderstorms coming on through Alabama, and I tell you, on social media, you gotta love Facebook, and some comments here and there. You guys love this stuff. This is exciting for you. Look, it's 11:30 at night. I'd rather be in bed right now. Trust me, I'm not a fan of severe weather at all. But I am very happy to report that there's not a whole lot of reports of damage coming from this. It's a nighttime event. This is not a good time for a lot of trees to come down. We are seeing some reports of trees down in Marion County, but not a lot so far. Lamar County, just a few trees down here and there. But again, not seeing a widespread swath of trees and power outages so far. So again, there's your line of thunderstorms. Continues to work off towards the east now. So let's go in tight and show. I tell you what, before we do that, let me show you the warnings. And these are all going to be severe thunderstorm warnings. And the only warnings we have in our entire area are Fayette and Pickens counties in West Alabama under a severe thunderstorm warning. I do know there's a tornado warning back there in Mississippi. That's severe thunderstorm warnings also, the orange polygons. But the yellow is a tornado watch. That is where conditions are favorable for perhaps a tornado. I just don't think this is going to be a big tornado night for us. It's a deal where we could have a tornado, yes, but it's not a big threat for our local area. We're here, though, just in case there's something trying to develop, and that's the whole point of this coverage is to stay here with you and watch these storms get on in. I want to watch the lightning display. I'm just curious how much lightning we're getting out of this. And you know what, Nick, I'm not seeing a whole lot of lightning in our counties. That's interesting. So let's just look at this line itself. Just kind of see how much lightning we've got in this part of the area. And again, this stuff's coming into West Alabama. The past 15 minutes, 90 strikes of lightning. We've seen that number way higher. Have you got a new severe thunderstorm warning? If you want to get that for us, Nick. What is that?
Yeah, so that's just for Lamar, southeastern Lamar County.
Okay.
Until midnight.
So so they had taken Lamar County out. I guess it hit the expiration time. Must have been 11:30, and they decided to reissue for just a small sliver of Lamar County because the storm's not out of Lamar yet. It's still in that southeastern part of the county. But again, I'm not seeing a tremendous amount of lightning. There's some strikes. And by the way, this is real-time data. So if you see a strike pop up, let's watch it and see if we see one. Any minute. It's not a lot of lightning with this stuff tonight. And that is a good thing. That's evident there's not a tremendous amount of instability for these storms to work with. And really, if there's not much instability, the big question I have, Nick, is are the winds going to be able to transfer down to the surface if you just don't have a lot of instability? See one right there. There's not much lightning, so that is an encouraging thing to see. So let's take that off. Let's put on the storm relative velocity. And I see nothing but gusty straight line winds with that. I don't see any sign of a tornado at all along this line. In fact, that's about as clean as you'll ever see along that line in terms of no suspicious eddies that's coming into Pickens County. Let's go down to the south and make sure there's nothing down here. And again, I don't see anything that is too suspicious. Let's go to the north. We'll see that little wind surge in northern Fayette, and it's gone. There's nothing there now. So again, this is all straight line winds. There's not a tornado there. So happy to report that. Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, they did just issue a severe thunderstorm warning for Walker County, Marion County, and Winston County until 12:45. So extending those.
And what was that speed on those warnings?
So this one's moving at 45 miles an hour, that particular one. Gust up to 60 mile an hour, and those are for locations that are, Jasper, Winfield, Haleyville, Carbon Hill, Lynn, Arley, Gwynn, Double Springs. So any of those areas, it is heading your way.
So again, they just decided to kind of blanket this storm with severe thunderstorm warnings. So tell you what, we'll take on the watch warning map, and let's just see who all they put those warnings in for. I do see Northern Walker in that. So let's zoom out. So again, Birmingham did decide to go ahead and let's just blanket with severe thunderstorm warnings with that. I do see some tornado warnings up in North Alabama, including the Athens area, just west of Huntsville. But now we've got a continuous string of severe thunderstorm warnings in our counties anyway for Pickens, southeast Lamar, all of Fayette, northern parts of Walker County, all of Winston, and then the southeastern part of Marion County. Those are severe thunderstorm warnings. And whenever the National Weather Service issues a severe thunderstorm warning, We got winds that are capable of producing a thunderstorm capable of producing winds of 58 to 60 miles per hour or stronger. And in this case, they're saying up to 60 miles per hour with these storms. So let's get back over to radar and take Birmingham's perspective. Just want to see what it looks like there. And there's your line of thunderstorms. That thing looks pretty straight, so that's good. There's no major kinks in it. If I was seeing a lot of bowing segments, I'd be more concerned about really high pockets of damaging winds, but I'm not seeing that at all, Nick, in terms of any kinks in this line that could be a strong wind surge, produce 65, 70 mile an hour winds. I do have a storm down there that's coming in northern Sumter County. That one is beginning to intensify a little bit.
Yeah, National Weather Service Jackson is watching that storm. Has some slight rotation to it, and I'm seeing it a little bit here on my radar, but that is approaching the state line heading towards Sumter at the moment.
All right, so let's go inside and just look at this thing together and see what we've got. Again, it's a strengthening thunderstorm, and let's see if that's storm relative. Okay, there we go. And again, nothing overly intense in terms of rotation. But if you're in Sumter County, let's keep an eye on it. This will kind of make the run into northern Sumter. And again, I don't see anything overly impressive. I certainly don't think the National Weather Service office in Birmingham would issue a tornado warning for that unless it were to ramp up more. So again, so far there's a few reports of downed trees and power lines, but there's not a lot of reports coming in so far. All right, so let's go back off towards the north and let's look at the velocity, make sure we don't see any wind surges, any sign of a tornado developing, and I see nothing at all. So that is great news. I am happy to report that. Hopefully that trend will continue. So let's get back over to reflectivity and let's take Columbus. I think we're still pretty close to Columbus. There's your leading edge of line of storms. Tell you what, let's go to that Fayette camera, and I'm going to just kind of skip ahead to that. That's what it looks like in Fayette, Nick, right now. So this line of severe storms is coming right up on downtown Fayette. And we're just kind of keeping an eye on these things and move on in. See the wind picking up pretty good there in Fayette. Of course, the winds have been blowing strong for the past, 12, 14 hours now, maybe longer than that. It's been a windy day. And again, so far, light rain falling in downtown Fayette, but in terms of the more intense winds, those are approaching there. And again, that's what we're watching. So strong winds coming up into the Fayette area. As this line of thunderstorms approaches, you saw that lightning flash. But so far, it's pretty quiet on the chat room, Nick.
Yeah, it is pretty quiet, and still keeping up to date on the power outage map as well. And again, I'm still not seeing much update on it. Really keeping an eye on these counties right on the border, Pickens and Lamar, and it seems like we're seeing the same numbers, about 1,000 out in Lamar still, about 600 out in Pickens, maybe a few in Fayette, but nothing super significant. And I'm still not seeing any new reports down of anything, just aside from the trees that we have been seeing. And I've been monitoring social media platforms as well. People are sharing videos of, the wind being very gusty, showing things outside, things blowing around. So the wind is still a big factor as these storms are moving through, producing some gusty winds, but we're still monitoring for anything big coming up as these storms start to approach.
Yeah, so again, what you're looking at, this is the Fayette camera at the Pfeiffer facility in Fayette. This is on the southeast side of town, and the rain's beginning to pick up just a bit. See the flag there whipping in the wind. But again, nothing overly strong in terms of damaging straight line winds of that camera yet. But the leading edge of the severe thunderstorm is just about to get to that location. So we're going to watch it with interest here in the next few minutes. Let's go back over to radar. And let me take you into this thing tight. And that camera is on the southeast side of Fayette. And we're going to know pretty quick how bad it's going to be because there it is. So there's that line of thunderstorms coming through Fayette. Next up will be the Berry area. All right. You'll be dealing with these storms very soon. Palmetto in northern Pickens County, you're dealing with the storms right now. So that is how things are looking. And again, the Weather Service just saying, you know, there's no obvious sign of a tornado right now, and that's good to see. Hopefully that trend will continue. So let's tell you what, let me stop this and let's go over to our Fayette camera. This is what it looks like out the door. Go ahead, Nick.
Yes, we're not seeing any concerns for tornadoes at the moment in Pickens County, but they are going to issue a severe thunderstorm warning as pockets of wind gusts are starting to head that direction. So just putting that on your radar too, that will be issued here soon.
Yeah, and here's Fayette. You can tell the wind's really picking up now in the Fayette area. Again, this is over at the Pfeiffer facility, and certainly some strong winds. Haven't seen anything exceptionally strong yet, but it's windy as these storms come in. Let's just watch this camera site. See the American flag there. It is really howling out there in Fayette. So let me tell you what, let me reload this. And there's the watch warning map just to kind of reset. And I see we've got two brand new severe thunderstorm warnings now, two new counties. That is Sumter and Greene County. So again, we're just blanketing this line with severe thunderstorm warnings for West Alabama. So let's go over to our Fayette camera. Getting all dry in Tuscaloosa. And yeah, it's pouring in Fayette, strong winds coming through as we speak. And again, those are some pretty powerful winds here in Fayette. And again, you see the wind whipping there and the American flag hanging on right there in front of the Pfeiffer facility. You can see some lightning, flashes of lightning. And just trying to get a scope of how strong the winds are there. And it's really hard to tell based off that camera, but you can tell it is coming down in Fayette. So that's what you could expect as that line gets to you. Something kind of like this, very little visibility as these storms do roll on through tonight. But again, that's how it looks out at Fayette. And you see the curtains of rain if you watch them move in front of the camera. That's how it looks right now. And again, just checking our social media platforms. So here's what it looks like in Fayette. And it is coming down, strong winds. Again, there's severe thunderstorm warning for Fayette County with that. Go ahead,
We just
Nick.
got a severe thunderstorm warning for Walker and Tuscaloosa County now until 1 a.m.
Okay, so again,
we're now included in that.
Yeah, so they're just blanketing this line with severe thunderstorm warnings. And yeah, it's some pretty good winds there in Fayette. Man, it is really blowing hard. And you see the American flag right there. That's right in front of this building at the Pfeiffer facility. Golden Eagle, the plant sits right there off of the distance behind those lights and some trees there. And again, there's no way you can see that tonight. For reference, the Farmers Co-op is just right there in Fayette. And this isn't going to last long. This is what you could expect at your house. It's going to be like this. This line comes in. This doesn't last long at all. And then it just kind of blows on through. But again, that's how it looks out the door in Fayette. Let's go back over to our radar and satellite loop, and let's just look at this thing together. And there's your line of thunderstorms. It continues to race eastward. Again, there it is. A very narrow line of thunderstorms. Now, you'll deal with this line of thunderstorms for about 20 or 30 minutes where it's really going to come down heavy. It's going to be a deal where it's probably going to be some lightning, thunder, very strong winds. And then it's over. And you'll get some rain, maybe some thunder for a little while behind that, but nothing that will be overly long-lasting. So again, there's your line of storms. And you saw that camera in Fayette where it is really just coming down there. So let's go back into our northwest counties and kind of work our way down this line. But again, a heads up for Sumter County, Greene County, Tuscaloosa County, Walker County. You're going to be the next under the gun for these severe thunderstorms with, again, damaging straight line winds. We see no sign of tornadoes with any of this. This is strong winds, potentially over 60 miles per hour. And this line seems to be beefing up just a little bit. So let's start you in the north and work our way down south. And I tell you what, if you are in Marion County or Lamar County, we can give you an all clear for the night. Your storms are over with now for Marion and Lamar in West Alabama. So let's go to the north, start you up here. This is Winston County. You got Double Springs, the Lynn community. That's Highway 278. And again, this is going to continue to move through. There's Walker County, got Kansas and Nauvoo sits right there. The Townley community, Oakman, and Jasper, your storms are coming up on you very soon. But again, if you are in Lamar County or Marion County, the weather is beginning to improve greatly for you. Still got some rain falling, but the severe issues are coming to an end. In Pickens County, there's Reform and Carrollton. This leading edge of the line of storms quickly coming up on Gordo. This will be coming up on Acola there. That's Coker. You got Samantha, Northside High School. There's Berry, the Bankston area, Boley Springs. Again, Oakman sits right up there. Your line of storms is quickly coming up on you. For Tuscaloosa, I would say we've got about 45 minutes to go, and this line is going to be on top of Tuscaloosa, maybe faster than that. Again, Nick, this thing seems to be a little bit ahead of schedule based off the time here. It's 11:51 and not even quite midnight yet, and those storms are already coming into Tuscaloosa County. So these storms are really moving fast. Down to the south, we got Sumter County. There's Geiger and ML. Livingston, University of West Alabama campus. You got Bolaga, Utah, West Green. You'll be impacted by these storms and strong damaging winds very soon. And then down to the south, not a lot with these storms that are below meridian. In fact, I don't think there is a, let's see if there's severe thunderstorm warning for that. And there's not. So there's no severe thunderstorm warning south of meridian. So again, Choctaw County and West Alabama, we don't have a severe thunderstorm warning for you yet, but that could change. All right, so here's the watch warning map. And again, the only tornado warnings in Alabama are close to the Huntsville area. That's in far north Alabama. But for our counties, got severe thunderstorm warnings for Winston, Walker, southeast Marion, which we can give an all clear for Marion County, Fayette County, Tuscaloosa, Pickens, Greene, and Sumter. Those are all severe thunderstorm warnings right now. So that's where that is at this hour. Nick, anything new coming up over on your end?
Starting to see some more trees down reported on Twitter. I'm also getting a little bit more of a scope of the power outages in Alabama. I know that Lamar is in there all clear, but they maxed out about 2,000 people without power. Okay. Fayette's already seeing about 300 people without power. So we're starting to see some power outages show up on the map as this begins to update, as that line of storm starts to move through. And that was some pretty strong wind there in Fayette. So I'd expect this map to also update in the next few minutes too, as we start to get some more reports as well.
Yeah, we'll start seeing more outages come in, even if it's a deal where the winds are not overly impressive with this. There's still going to be some trees come down. The soil is very wet. We've had quite a bit of rain lately, so I would imagine it's not going to take much to knock some trees down. But that's a look at the watch warning situation. From Brian Denny in Tuscaloosa, again, we're looking north. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to step off, and I'm going to pan this camera around. I just want to see kind of what is coming at us here in Tuscaloosa. And I'll tell you what, while we do that, let me backtrack just a little bit. Let's go back over to Fayette and show you how it looks in Fayette. And again, the weather has improved there. I mean, already, Nick, look at the camera in downtown Fayette.
Yeah, wind's not as strong anymore. No. Just a few minutes ago, visibility was almost non-existent.
Yeah, that was rough earlier coming through Fayette. And again, if you're on our Facebook Live and you have any reports, I would just comment on there if you don't mind, and let us know what you're seeing. So that would be very helpful, Nick.
Yes.
Anything out of Mississippi are you seeing there in terms of damage? I haven't seen anything.
It's also been quiet on the Mississippi end too, aside from the trees that we saw earlier, which is a great sign that, we haven't seen anything in the past few minutes here. But I'm continuing to monitor the chat, and as those start to come in, or if those come in, I'll definitely report those, because that gives us a great scope of the places that that storm is coming from. But here in West Alabama, the Lamar County severe thunderstorm warning has now been canceled. That is old news, but it has expired. Yeah,
I've got the Brian Denny camera up, Nick, in Tuscaloosa. and I was just kind of curious how that was looking. And I haven't seen a whole lot of lightning yet, but I can imagine it won't be long before we'll start to see some here in Tuscaloosa. And just kind of changing our cameras here and looking. There's some lightning right there. And just looking at some of the cameras across the region as we do continue this late night hour. This is...
Let's see, we just got a report of a tree down on a house at Southside Baptist Church in Fayette. Still waiting on the exact road name that is, but definitely a tree down there close to Southside Baptist Church in Fayette.
All right, so again, this is what it looks like out the door in Demopolis, Nick, as these storms do continue to approach some of our West Alabama counties that haven't necessarily been impacted by the storms just yet. This is how it looks right now in northern Marengo County, and I'm just checking with social media too, and I see some of counties have been cleared from the severe thunderstorm warning so far.
Yeah, Marion County was just canceled just now, so that is good news.
Yeah, the only tornado warning in the state is up there around Huntsville, and that is it. And I tell you what, I've got to change this computer back over. So again, what you're looking at, this is the Demopolis camera. This is the Bryant-Denny camera here in Tuscaloosa. And we've got storms that are moving through West Alabama now pretty quickly. So again, this is the watch warning map, and the only tornado warnings of the state are up here near the Huntsville area. But again, no other tornado warnings to speak of right now. So I am keeping a very close eye on the National Weather Service and seeing if we have any reports of damage, and things are getting pretty quiet, which is good. Again, thunderstorms still west of Tuscaloosa, still west of Demopolis so far, but that's going to change quick. Again, these storms are really beginning to work their way eastward. I mean, look how fast these are moving now off towards the east, and these are still powerful storms. And here's a look at Doppler radar, and again, this is out of Birmingham, and you see the line of storms lined up from just east of Haleyville to near Fayette, to about Reform Gordo, to about Geiger, and then stretching down to the Meridian area. Those are where those storms are, and they are moving eastward at about 50 to 60 miles per hour. So these are fast-moving thunderstorms out there. Let's go to the north and kind of work our way down this line here. And again, there are tornado warnings west of the Huntsville Metro, which just for a moment, that's way outside of our area, but I just want to check the velocity on some of that stuff, and that's what it looks like from Huntsville. And we're going to go right back in our counties. I was curious how things were looking up there in terms of rotation. I don't see anything, Nick, at all. Yeah, I don't see any sign of rotation up to the north. But again, the Weather Service office in Huntsville does have a tornado warning up there. Let's go down to the south and just kind of work these storms. And again, I'm not seeing any sign of any eddies forming in this line. I don't see any sign of rotation, and that is encouraging. Looks like the wind shift line in terms of the strong winds are right at Berry now, about to move into, now moving in northwest Tuscaloosa County. There's Ecola there. All right, getting brand new scan. Gordo, your strong winds are at Gordo now, pushing east of Aliceville and Carrollton. And then you got ML and Geiger here in northern Sumter County. That's where your stronger winds are at this moment. And I see no sign of rotation. So that is awesome. Let's go to, I'll tell you what, let's take Jackson radar for a moment. There's your intense thunderstorms coming through Meridian, Mississippi. These are moving into West Alabama. You've got ML and Gainesville. Your intense thunderstorms are coming in now. They've got a severe thunderstorm warning for all of Sumter and all of Greene County in West Alabama for the potential for damaging straight-line winds. Although we haven't heard of a lot of reports out of that. Let me change to Birmingham's radar. Let's just work our way up this line here. And this is a 30-minute radar loop. And, you know, Nick, we're watching that storm moving in northern Sumter County. It's kind of lost that characteristic for producing anything that could be tornadic. It just kind of looks like a mess there, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's right. I'm looking at the same thing, not seeing anything impressive at all from that one. That seems to be the trend for all of these. They're blanketing the severe thunderstorm warnings, but nothing impressive right now. I will say I'm still keeping an eye on the power outages, and the Fayette power outages has near 2,000, so getting a lot more outages from that. While we still aren't seeing a lot of reports of some damages, I mean, power outages seems to be the biggest impact right now from the wind.
Yeah, and it doesn't take a whole lot of trees come down to knock out power to a lot of people. And we saw that Pfeiffer cam over at Fayette, and man, that wind was really coming in there. So, I mean, no doubt we got some powerful winds with these storms, and those are going to knock down some trees and power lines. So you'll have some problems with that. But again, the leading edge has come through Aliceville now. It's over the Gordo area. It's come through Carrollton and Reform. Conditions are beginning to improve now for Reform back towards Ethelsville. But again, for Lamar County, we can give you an all clear. But these powerhouse storms are now into northwest Tuscaloosa County. We zoom in just a little bit tighter. And again, you see some of the communities here as we go in tight and show you that. There's Carrollton, there's Reform. You got Gordo, Acola, there's Samantha. And again, that's your storms right there. So if you are in the northwest part of Tuscaloosa County, that's who's dealing with the storms, and these will continue to work their way off towards the east direction very quickly. This is only going to be about a 25, 30-minute window of time where the weather's going to be rough where you are, and then the storms move on. They won't last very long, all right? There's Morris Bridge at 171. Let's go into Fayette County. And again, the worst of it's now east of downtown Fayette. In fact, conditions are quickly improving in Fayette. But if you are in New Lexington, up Boley Springs, there's a Sandtown area on the Fayette and Tuscaloosa County line. Very heavy rain, strong wind potential out of that as well. There's Walker County, Townley, Jasper. The intense storms are coming upon you as we speak. And with that, could see some 60-mile-an-hour gusts there all over the county. But you got Nauvoo, Carbon Hill. It's now east of the Eldridge area in western Walker County, but basically tracking down that I-22 corridor, and it's going to be some pretty rough weather coming into downtown Jasper right now. Got some power outages as seen from northern Sumter County near Geiger, so it looks like some outages showing up there down to the south. And again, that's that kind of the bottom edge of the main bit of storms. And it looks like it's beginning to kind of intensify down here near Meridian. And that's moving into central Sumter County, but seeing some power outages now in the Geiger area. So here in a little bit, we're going to look at that Demopolis camera. Should be able to see something pretty interesting with that. But, man, this thing is really coming upon Tuscaloosa. And I will say this, as I was coming into work this evening, Nick, University of Alabama has a lot of people on campus right now. We had the basketball game, Alabama versus Auburn, number 1 and number 2, here in Tuscaloosa. And a lot of those people are out there now that are partying on the strip here on the University of Alabama campus. And I tell you what, they're about to get a rude awakening as these storms come in. So if you know anybody outside, maybe won't tell them try to get in pretty quick, because that is a nasty line of storms working into Tuscaloosa as we speak. So that is a danger with frequent lightning, a possibility coming on in as well. So let's go to our Demopolis camera. And again, you see the shake in the camera there. This is on top of the cable TV tower building in downtown Demopolis. You're looking in the direction of the Tombigbee River. In fact, it kind of snakes around. The lock and dam sits back there, and the river just kind of snakes around, and you got the confluence of the Black Warrior and Tombigbee right up there. Winds out of the south at 13. That's a lot of wind fueling into these thunderstorms. And let me go to our Tuscaloosa camera. And here's how it looks outside. And, again, there's a lot of people right about there, Nick, on the University of Alabama campus down at the Strip, and it was quite busy tonight. So, anybody out there, you better let them know you got some rough storms coming in. And I think I can see the leading edge of the shelf cloud off of the distance. You see that on the camera? It's kind of difficult to see, but I think I can see the leading edge of the shelf coming on in. Anything new out of Sumter County, Nick? I just had Alabama Fire College report some power outages over in Geiger. Are you seeing some numbers on the map there?
Yeah, we're definitely seeing some update to the numbers. These numbers are increasing as it keeps to update. It seems to update about every 5 to 10 minutes. So even if a storm passes through, we're not getting like very live updates until about 5 to 10 minutes after, which is still telling a good story about how strong it was when it actually went through there. So Fayette is close to 2,000 power outages right now. Walker County already at 500, just naming these out. And Lamar, it topped out about 2,000 power outages. So power outages definitely started to be a factor in the storms as they moved across here. We just didn't know it till after they went through. So other than that, though, damages, we're seeing power outages north Sumter. That's coming into the chat. But other than that, we haven't been seeing any more, which is also a good sign. We've been saying that. This has been very unimpressive in terms of the damage it's caused so far.
Yeah, let's look at the watches. All right, look at the storm report so far and just see kind of what we've got back in Mississippi. And I know these reports could have kind of slowly come in. And let me zoom out just a bit. And there's our damage reports there. Some scattered trees down across Fayette County, Lamar, and Marion County. But let's zoom out. And back in Mississippi, gosh, just not a... And maybe these reports are slow to come in. Nick, look at the map there. We got pulled up. There's just not a whole lot of reports so far back in Mississippi. And hopefully that will be a trend that continues. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's what the chat is really reiterating, is that there is some reports, and while they're coming slow in, it's still producing some damage from the straight line wind damage. You don't want to let off your guard from the wind damage that it is providing, so definitely to keep in mind that this is still a strong storm moving through here, even though we keep talking about how it's unimpressive to maybe a tornado developing.
Yeah, I mean, we still want to treat these things serious, and again, these are severe thunderstorms that can knock down some trees and cause power outages. So best word of advice, and I do want to remind you too, if you're watching us on television, we're also on Facebook Live. Search for the Richard Scott WVUA 23 page or on the WVUA 23 Facebook page. We got an app, a free app. WVUA 23. You can click the Watch Now option. We're on there. The website streams, so we've got multiple places you can get us if you do lose power. I know some people will. So let's get back into this line here because, again, it's moving quickly. So let's get the latest position of that. And, again, for Winston County, it's coming up on the west banks of Smith Lake right now. You've got Arley that's about to be impacted, Jones Chapel area as well, Jones Chapel and Crane Hills over in the Coleman County side. Down to the south, got Carbon Hill, Nauvoo, Eldridge. You're already out of the woods in Eldridge, but, I can give it all clear for everybody west of Berry. If you are in Fayette, up towards Winfield, Brilliant, and Ewan, again, you're fine now. The severe weather issues have come to an end for you. In Tuscaloosa County, it is really coming in quick. Again, that's western Tuscaloosa County, Ecola. This is approaching Coker, Samantha. You're dealing with these storms very soon, and again, seeing some strong indications of wind there. They have blown through Gordo now. Reform, you're beginning to improve. Still got some rain falling, but in terms of the weather conditions, beginning to improve just a bit in Reform as well as Carrollton and Aliceville. Down to the south, got Utah. These storms coming up on West Green, Utah. Moundville, you'll be impacted by these storms most likely within the next 30 minutes. Then down to the south, got ML and Geiger. Storms blowing through there now. Some pretty rough weather in the York area. And then down to the south, we got intense thunderstorms. It's coming out of Stonewall and Quitman, Mississippi, coming into northern Choctaw County. I don't think they have a... Do they have? Oh, they have put a severe thunderstorm warning down here. So let's look at that. So again, they did put a severe thunderstorm warning for Choctaw County, the entire county. That's outside of our TV market, but just a heads up down there. If you are in Choctaw County, the entire county is blanketed under a severe thunderstorm warning. And this is for damaging straight line winds. I don't see any evidence of a tornado down there right now, but that is a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for you. Let's go out to a wider view. I just want to kind of see this whole system. And really, there's a blanket of severe thunderstorm warnings from southern Tennessee down into southwest Alabama. Choctaw County is the southern end of this, and that's what we're looking at there. Checking some reports again. I'm just seeing everybody saying about the same thing. Strong gusty winds. Some people have lost power. Some people are having power flicker. But I'm just checking. And I'll tell you what, again, for everybody on Facebook Live right now, if you don't mind, comment on my live on the Richard Scott WVUA 23 page. And I'm going to keep an eye on that as the storms blow through. Let me know what you've seen where you are. And that'll kind of help the warning process down the road to let people know what is happening out there. Let's see. I believe from our Tuscaloosa camera, we're beginning to see quite a bit of lightning. So let's go over to that. This is the watch warning map. This is our Demopolis camera in North Marengo County. The temperature 72 there. Those storms are knocking on the doorstep. Bryant-Denny and Tuscaloosa, there's your storms coming on in. And again, here in Tuscaloosa, we've got some light rain passing through town, but really the heavy stuff is on its way very soon. And this is going to be coming out of the western side of the county. Look at the south wind sustained at 25. And I believe, had a little flicker there. Yeah, go ahead,
Yeah,
Nick.
so I'm monitoring your comments here on your Facebook Live, just seeing what people are saying. A couple people from near Tuscaloosa are saying it's starting to ramp up. Lots of wind and cooling. Just heard thunder in Northport. Thunder starting in Holt. So it's definitely making its way through here. And I'm seeing a lot of people saying they're noticing it thundering in Northport. So it is on the cusp of being right here in Tuscaloosa. Our Tuscaloosa cam is going to look like Fayette's here soon.
Yeah, I imagine so. You know, one thing out of this line, though, Nick, I don't see any bowing segments. This is all pretty straight line generally. So hopefully that will help lessen the severe impact. A lot of times to see these bowing segments, that's those wind surges that get out and really drop down some wind. So we're not seeing any sign of that. But that being said, we still got a powerhouse storm that's going to produce a lot of wind, frequent lightning, and could knock your power out. So if you are, you know, in an area where, you know, power goes out, it gets really dark where you are, may want to have a flashlight handy, you know, your cell phone charged up in case you lose power for the night. This isn't a significant damaging wind event. This is more of a kind of standard squall line with scattered pockets of wind damage where we're going to see some power outages here and there. But in terms of, you know, how many people are affected by power outages, the numbers are not overwhelming, but they are fairly high. Nick, you got any reports on the number of power outages so far? Just kind of curious if that number is coming up.
Yeah, so again, Fayette County, 2,000 power outages. Here in Tuscaloosa, not an impressive number just yet. That line of storms is still making its way just on the cusp. Seeing reports of, you know, places like Coker, that's just right inside Tuscaloosa County. It's starting to be pretty heavy. So Tuscaloosa County doesn't have many power outages quite yet. Walker County, about 500. Marion County, about 1,000. So like Richard said, not a huge amount, but still a good amount of people without power and in the dark at the moment. I'd expect these numbers to continue to increase as we continue seeing this line of storms make its way through. But if y'all will comment stuff under the live, I will continue to keep up to date, because hearing y'all's thoughts out there definitely helps us get a good grasp and scope as these storms move through.
Yeah, Nick, the Weather Service office in Birmingham mentioning northern Greene County they're watching for kind of storm evolution here where it could develop into something. And again, it's got a little bit of a surge happening there. So, you know, we are watching that in the southern tier of the county. Let's go to Birmingham's perspective and let's just kind of see how it looks. And again, a little bit of a surge out there, so need a wind surge. So need to keep an eye on that for what's coming in southern Tuscaloosa County. Right now, no warning, no tornado warning for that, but something that is interesting. So if you are in the southern end, we got a tornado warning for Sumter County, looks like. So yeah, we got a tornado warning down in Sumter. Okay. That is...
Yes, tornado warning for southern Greene County and Sumter County until 1 a.m. And that storm is moving at 55 miles an hour.
Okay, and this is going to be approaching that Demopolis cam as well. So again, this is closer to York and Livingston for a potential tornado. What was the motion of that, Nick?
55 miles an hour.
Okay, yeah, right there. So we got evidence of rotation that's right over the York area, coming up on Livingston on the University of West Alabama campus. So we need you in shelter now if you're in Sumter County for a potential tornado. Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, so I'm seeing some people in the comments that are in Bology, and they're saying it's getting noisy there. That includes Bology right now, so if that is you, definitely start to make your way to a safe spot, as that is a location this is impacted by.
So yeah, so we got a potential tornado that's down here in Sumter County, and this is going to include the University of West Alabama campus. It goes all the way to the Tombigbee River on the Sumter County side. The Tombigbee River technically does not include downtown Demopolis. That's on the Marengo County side of the river, and doesn't include Forkland yet. But again, it's still a dangerous thunderstorm that is going on. And again, they're watching this storm too in the northern end of Greene County as well, that has this potential, this indication that, you know, it could also produce a tornado. Now, there's no confirmation of a tornado. The storm just has that look to it down here in Sumter. And again, this one that's coming to southwest Tuscaloosa County, it is trying to develop something. It hasn't happened yet, but the potential is there. So again, tornado warning for Sumter County in West Alabama and portions of Greene County. Okay, so southern Greene County is in that tornado warning. And you did mention that, Nick, moving east at 55 miles per hour. So you did say that, I just missed it. So let's look at the warning. Let's check out the polygon here. So again, this does include Forkland. This includes the area south of Utah. On Highway 43, if you go down to Forkland or go up to Demopolis, the potential for a developing tornado that's going to be in western Sumter County, coming up on Livingston. And then next up, you're going to be under the gun if you're in the Bology area. This may track a hair to the north of Demopolis. We're going to look at that Demopolis camera here in just a moment and see what's going on down there. But again, that's your tornado warning. Let's do a track on this thing. And again, it's moving east at 55 miles per hour, so that's where the storm is now. Tracking east at 55. So these are the times of arrival. Now, this does include Demopolis in this path. Now, Marengo County is not technically under a tornado warning, but again, Demopolis, we're looking at 1:17, so in about an hour. York area at 12:21, Livingston 12:31. Braggville area at 12:53, Forkland at 1:07. Those are general times of arrival, what time this dangerous thunderstorm could be where you are. So again, tornado warning for parts of the southern half of Sumter County and portions of Greene County in West Alabama. And if this continues, could move into southern Hale County as well. So let me clear this data off and take you quickly to a wide view. We have multiple severe thunderstorm warnings now for our counties of southeast Winston, Walker County, southeast Fayette, all of Tuscaloosa County, southeast Pickens, all of Greene County, all of Sumter County. We also have a tornado warning for Sumter and southern Greene County for the potential for a developing tornado. So let's go to our Demopolis camera. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to step off. And while we do that, this is our Brian Denny camera here in Tuscaloosa. And we got this severe thunderstorm that's coming into the Tuscaloosa area as we speak. And this is a powerhouse storm that's here in the Tuscaloosa area that's about to move right through downtown within just a matter of moments. And I'm just going to kind of bounce around here because we do have the tornado warning down there to the northwest or to the west of Demopolis.
Yeah, Richard, a lot of people on the live are letting us know that, you know, in Northport and places like that, it's heavy rain, Coker, lightning, all sorts of things. So I'd imagine that the Tuscaloosa cam that we have on the screen here is about to be moving around a lot. as it starts to make its way in. And I'd expect these power outage numbers to also increase here in just a moment. It's already started to increase here in Tuscaloosa County to almost about 500 people. And people on the chat are also telling me that they're without power, or the Facebook Live that is. So I expect those numbers to increase here in just a moment.
So again, we're watching our Demopolis camera in North Marengo County. And again, there's a potential for a tornado off to the west of this camera site. Oh, there's some lightning there, and I just happened to look away. I've been trying to watch for lightning flashes.
And the
Go ahead.
National Weather Service has issued a tornado warning for Tuscaloosa County, as along with Greene County and Hale County till 1 a.m.
All right, so again, brand new tornado
included.
warning that includes the southern part of Tuscaloosa County and the northern part of Hale County. That's the one we're talking about there. So we have two tornado warnings now in West Alabama, one that's on the south side of Tuscaloosa, and then one that is down in the Livingston area of West Alabama. So let's go over to radar. And unfortunately, we're not going to be able to see the one in Tuscaloosa County because it's simply too far south of Tuscaloosa. But again, let's go into this thing tight. So again, a potential for a tornado that's right here just south of Foster, southwest of Foster's. There's downtown Tuscaloosa. Now, University of Alabama campus is not considered in this particular tornado warning. But again, the south side of town that includes Taylorville, Shelton State, down to Moundville. Moundville's right in the middle of this tornado warning polygon for a possible tornado. And let's look at the velocity product out of this and just see what we've got. And again, there's not a screaming evidence of a tornado here, but there could be one that could develop based off our signature. Let's go to Columbus perspective. This is from Birmingham. Let's just see what Columbus looks like. And again, you've got that wind surge happening right there in northern Greene County that's moving into southwest Tuscaloosa County. Again, there's not an overwhelming look for a tornado there, but it is a close call. So this one's going to kind of hug the Tuscaloosa and Tuscaloosa and Hale County line. This will be north of Akron and north of Utah, but the potential is for a tornado that could be there on the Tuscaloosa Greene County line. Hugging, it's going to cross the Black Warrior River. It's going to hug the Tuscaloosa and Hale County line. So if you are in Moundville, we need you in shelter now. The potential is a tornado could be there approaching the Moundville area. So again, a dangerous thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado that is south of Tuscaloosa. This does not include the University of Alabama campus. This does not include downtown Tuscaloosa or areas to the north. So again, a thunderstorm that could produce a tornado right here in far southwest Tuscaloosa County, near or just south of Foster's, along the interstate, crossing at the Knoxville exit on Interstate 2059. There's Moundville. Again, that's Highway 69 that runs up into downtown Tuscaloosa. Interstate 2059 comes in from the west side of town. I think if there's a tornado there, it's going to be south of Tuscaloosa, south of downtown. This one's moving east, not to the northeast. And I want to check in with you, Nick. Anything new coming out of this storm or the one to the south?
Not seeing anything new at the moment. We are seeing some more power outages and some power outage reports here on the Facebook Live as well. So this storm really is starting to ramp up. This is definitely a time for you to start making your way to your safe spot if you are in any of those two areas there. But as far as reports, not seeing much from there, and I'm also watching radar as well, and I'm agreeing with everything you're saying.
Hey, I'll tell you what, Darius in the control room, if we can we take the Tuscaloosa camera, the Brian Denny camera, full just for a moment? Just want to see how it looks out the door there, and that's from Brian Denny. Again, we're not going to be able to see a tornado from this camera, but the severe part of the storm is quickly beginning to move in. So we want you in a safe place if you are south of Tuscaloosa. But even if you're in the Tuscaloosa Northport area, we've got a really rough storm coming in with the potential for damaging straight line winds. So let's go back over to our Doppler radar. And again, this is the line segment that's producing damaging winds. And again, we'll quickly work this thing, then get right back into the tornado warning. So again, the severe part of the storm coming through Jasper Parish, approaching Summerton as we speak, down to the south here in Tuscaloosa County. Severe part of the storm coming through Samantha, now passing to the east of town, approaching Old Lock 15 there on the the Black Warrior River on Holt Lake. We've got down to the south, again, downtown Tuscaloosa about to be impacted by very strong wind and potential for damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour. A potential tornado down here in the southwestern part of Tuscaloosa County that's just a hair to the southwest of Foster's. That's going to be riding the county line of Hale County and Tuscaloosa County. And again, this is going to be closer to the Moundville area. So if you are in Moundville, we want you in shelter now. That's out of a mobile home, a site-built structure for the possibility of a tornado. It's not a confirmed tornado. It's just the potential for one. And then down here in Livingston, University of West Alabama campus, a potential tornado right over Livingston, downtown right now. This is approaching the Forkland and Demopolis area. Marengo County, technically not in the tornado warning, but it's going to be mighty close call. If you live in Forkland, you need to be in a safe place now if you are south of Utah. In fact, now if you are in Utah, we got an intense thunderstorm coming right into downtown. This is a dangerous thunderstorm, could produce strong straight line winds. We've got an indication of a possible tornado right here on the University of West Alabama campus in Livingston that is passing just very close to, if not just north of Demopolis. So this is a dangerous thunderstorm as we speak. So again, we've got two storms we're watching that could potentially produce a tornado that are very close to each other. And then you got this entire line segment here that could be producing damaging straight line winds in pockets. Now, we've seen power outages, Nick mentioning some of those power outages. If you are in Pickens County, Fayette County, Winston County, Marion County, Lamar County, I can give you an all clear. Your severe weather threat has come to an end. We got a line of severe storms that goes all the way down into northwest Choctaw County. You got a mostly damaging wind concern down there. So far, there's no indication of a tornado that is south of Sumter County, south of York. So again, we've got two tornadic thunderstorms. And while we do that, Darius, can we double box the Brian Denny camera and me with radar? And let me know if we can. And I see we've got an update with that severe thunderstorm warning. So the potential is there for a tornado in southern Tuscaloosa County. What you're looking at is Doppler radar with the tornadic thunderstorm in southern Tuscaloosa County. We've also got our Demopolis camera, and we got a great lightning flash there. I did not see any sign of a tornado. We are looking in that general direction of where there could be a tornado that's to the west of Demopolis. And we're just keeping a very careful eye on that camera, as well as the Brian Denny camera here in Tuscaloosa. Now, we're not going to be able to see this, the tornado from Tuscaloosa. If there's one down, we're not going to be able to see it. It's going to be rain-wrapped. And this is Demopolis camera. Over there on the other side of your screen to the right, that is the Brian Denny camera here in Tuscaloosa. And we are watching that. Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, so the chat actually brings up a great point. As down trees threat starts to become more prevalent in these high populated areas, say Tuscaloosa County, and where there's more people, definitely make your way to a spot in your home that's away from windows or any out of the path of any tree that could fall on you as these winds start to be a little bit more heavy as they move into the area.
And I do see they upped the winds of this severe thunderstorm warning to 70 miles per hour. So again, that's our Brian Denny camera here in Tuscaloosa, and you just saw the Demopolis camera. Unfortunately, it's going to be difficult to see if there's a tornado here. It's probably going to be rain-wrapped, but we will keep a careful eye on that. So tell you what, let's go back over to radar full. And this is what we've got. Again, we've got a tornado warning for the south end of Tuscaloosa County that's going to be approaching the Moundville area very soon. We got another tornadic storm that's down here that's just past east of Livingston now. It is not too far away from Demopolis, so unfortunately it's going to be rain wrapped, so I don't think we'll be able to see it very well from a Demopolis camera, but we'll be taking a close look at that shortly. Again, the potential tornado has passed just east of Livingston now, is approaching the Black Warrior River here that's just south of Bology. Technically, Bology is in the tornado warning. I think the main threat for a tornado may be a hair to the south of Bology, but again, it's going to be a mighty close call in this zone right here. If you are in Forkland, you need to be in a safe place now. That includes the lowest floor of your home and out of a mobile home. Got to be out of a mobile home with this potential for a tornado. Let me tell you what, let's stop this loop here and let's go up the line. to the potential for a tornado here in Tuscaloosa County in northern Hale County. There's your polygon right there. Includes areas south of Shelton State Community College. Does not include downtown Tuscaloosa or the University of Alabama campus. But again, even here north of the tornado warning polygon, we've got a very dangerous thunderstorm that could be producing straight line winds in excess of 65 miles per hour, maybe up to 70 miles per hour coming through the downtown Northport area now. And this is coming into downtown Tuscaloosa. Now, the potential for a tornado is going to be on the south side of town. Let's look at the velocity product and see what we've got. And still seeing some evidence of rotation just on the south side of Foster's. And this is a close call. This is out of a Columbus perspective. And again, there it is. So if you are near or south of Foster's, you got to be in shelter. This has crossed the Knoxville exit. It continues to move off towards an east direction at about 55 miles per hour. From Birmingham's perspective, from the velocity product, let's go in tight. Now let's look at it. So there's our possible tornado just south of Foster's. Not an overwhelmingly tight circulation, but it's still on a case like tonight. We need to take it serious and be in our shelter. So if you're in Moundville, up Highway 69 to Inglewood, and then to the east down Highway 82 towards Duncanville and the Hagler area, you need to be in shelter right now for the potential for a tornado that could be there. This is going to be north of Akron, but even down in Akron, the Oak Village area, you're going to be impacted by very strong winds with the line segment itself. There's the Havana Junction. Again, you go up north of the Havana Junction, that's where you're going to be in the danger zone for the potential for a tornado. Nick, any update on power outages so far in these storms? Just curious what you're seeing.
Yeah, Tuscaloosa now has 3,600 people without power, so those numbers are definitely starting to climb. So as power outages start to come out, make sure you have more reliable ways to get the information if TV goes out or something like that. So make sure that you're able to still get this information as these storms move through. I'm still watching the live stream here on Facebook as well, seeing a lot of people saying it's starting to get really heavy in terms of some rain and thunder and wind moving across these same areas that we're talking about here. Still make your way to a safe spot in your home, even as we're still tracking these here. And I'm keeping an update on the storm reports here. Seeing here, trees down at the West End Elementary blocking both lanes. So there's definitely some trees down. So if you're on the roadways, which I know it's the middle of the night, definitely get off the roadways and into a safe spot as these start to continue to track its way through West Alabama. So the good news is there's quite a few counties that are in the all clear, like Lamar County is in the all clear. Just to reiterate, Marion County, Pickens County, and Sumter County, you guys are in your safe spot now. Many of those places still have a lot of power outages as those reports are starting to come in, so they definitely had a lot of some wind damage and things like that. So continue to be in your safe spot if you're in those places that need to be right now.
All right, so again, the Weather Service, let me just kind of give you a little bit of a comfort here. The Weather Service office in Birmingham, Gerald Satterwhite, we're talking with him, and he's mentioning both these tornado warnings have not really produced anything at this time, but the threat continues. So, while we don't think a tornado has touched down yet, the possibility there could be one at any time. Darius, let's take our Tuscaloosa camera here at Bryant-Denny Stadium and see how things look out the door. And man, it's coming down here in Tuscaloosa. We talked about that over in Fayette earlier. You see the lightning there. I'm going to turn this camera around so you can kind of see what it looks like down at the bottom of the screen towards the University of Alabama campus. Again, we are north of the potential tornado, but it is really rough weather here in Tuscaloosa, here on the University of Alabama campus. That's what it looks like out the door. Again, visibility is terrible. I'm just trying to get a clear shot of how it looks here, some of the trees, and unfortunately it might be quite difficult to do that because the rain is coming down so heavy. That's what it looks like here in Tuscaloosa right now as the severe storm continues to move in. So if you're just now joining us, it is 12:34. Chief Meteorologist Richard Scott here. And we are in the middle of tornado coverage and severe thunderstorm coverage. We've got several dangerous thunderstorms. So, Darius, let's go back over to the weather graphics. And we've got several dangerous thunderstorms now we're working. Multiple severe thunderstorm warnings up and down central and west Alabama now. A string of severe thunderstorm warnings. We have 2 tornado warnings we're working here. That's one in southern Greene County, northern Sumter. And then we have one that is in northeast Greene County, northern Hale County, and far southern portions of Tuscaloosa County where the threat is for a tornado. This is our Demopolis camera in North Marengo County. And we're not too far away from that potential tornado that's in Sumter County that's moved east of Livingston now, went through the University of West Alabama campus. I have not heard of any damage there yet, but again, we'll be monitoring social media and our platform, see if anybody's got any kind of damage there in Sumter County. I'm not seeing a whole lot of lightning with that camera there either from Demopolis. So let's go over to our Doppler radar. And let's go back into this storm that's prompted a tornado warning for South Tuscaloosa County. And again, I will say this: the urgency of this storm is there, but we haven't seen a screaming evidence of a tornado down yet. But still, it's a very dangerous situation as it's nighttime. Number one. Number two, it's 12:36 in the morning. A lot of people are in bed right now, so the potential for a tornado is certainly there. And it's going to be a deal where it's hard to reach people. So, this may be a situation where you can call and wake somebody up and let them know, hey, you're in the path of a tornado. Strong damaging winds coming through downtown Tuscaloosa and Northport now. The possibility of a tornado is right on top of downtown Moundville. Again, I'm not seeing screaming evidence of a tornado, but it doesn't matter. It's a close call. And the National Weather Service office said, hey, let's just go ahead on the side of caution and issue a tornado warning. The storm kind of had that look, so the potential is there. But if there's any kind of relief I can get you, it doesn't look overly impressive. And I think they canceled something. What is that, Nick? They canceled that.
So the Greene County one.
Okay. But they continue.
They continue the one for northeast Greene.
Okay. So they do continue the tornado warning. I think what they ended up doing was I'm talking to Russell Whedon, the EMA director of Hale County. He said power's out in Moundville. So I'm just talking with him, and he's going to keep me updated too on kind of what's going on down there in Hale County. So again, power's out in parts of Moundville because of so at least the chance for damaging winds if there's not a tornado there. Let's go over to the correlation coefficient. Let's look at the debris tracker. I see no sign of debris there, so that's an encouraging thing. We don't see any debris dropouts, so indication that there could be a tornado down in Moundville. But again, we still need you in your safe place if you're north of Havana Junction because the potential is certainly there. A tornado could develop. And again, this is going to be right over really over the county line there, close to Big Sandy Elementary School. I was just down there earlier this week. I spoke to the kindergarten down there. This is going to be really close to Big Sandy, maybe just a hair south of there. There's downtown Moundville on the Hale County side of Highway 69. You go down to the south, Highway 60 and Highway 69 split off at Havana Junction, and they just built a new Junction Grocery down there, and this is going to be north of Junction Grocery down there at the Havana Junction. Again, there's Cypress, there's the Phipps area. This is north of you. That's where the possible tornado would be. That's going to be generally hugging the Tuscaloosa and Hale County line, approaching the Duncanville and Hagler area, and the possibility for a tornado could be there as well. So look at the reflectivity side of this thing. Just want to kind of see how it looks. And again, it's not overwhelming in terms of a signature, but look, this is in a populated area. Let's treat it serious in case there could be a tornado with that. And again, I'm keeping up with, so again, from the Hale County EMA director, we do have a tree down on a house in Moundville, someone trapped inside. So we are seeing that. And that's what just came across the chat room, Nick, too.
Yeah, power outage numbers are continuing to climb on the website.
Okay.
About 6,000 in Walker County. Still approaching the 4,000 number in Tuscaloosa. An interesting thing here from the Facebook live stream is a lot of people are saying that they have power outages, but some people are saying that they're having trouble reporting their power outages too. So those numbers could be a little bit higher too. So I'd imagine that some of these numbers are going to continue to climb in just a few moments.
Yeah, we still have the tornado warning technically for parts of Sumter and southern Greene County. That's a little bitty tornado warning polygon. So I'm not sure if the Weather Service office in Birmingham is just going to hold off on issuing another one. There's still a small area right there that's going to be passing near or just south of Forkland and just a hair north of downtown Demopolis. So that's something to keep an eye on. It's not overwhelming, but again, we need to watch it. If you're in southern Hale County, Greensboro south to Newbern, and just north of Highway 80, I think north of that Highway 80 corridor, that's where, if there is a tornado there, it's going to be north of Demopolis. That's where the potential is for that. So, again, just an update down in Moundville, treat down on 2nd Avenue in Moundville. People are trapped inside the house. Haven't heard any reports of injuries, anything like that. Looks like the tree may came down on the house and just people can't get out, is what it sounds like. So, again, there's the Tombigbee River that runs up to Gainesville, that runs down to Demopolis, and the confluence of the Tombigbee and the Black Warrior Rivers right there. And I'll tell you what, Nick, that last scan there near Forkland just kind of looks a little better, doesn't it? So that bears watching. I'm going to go to our Demopolis camera. That's the camera in Demopolis. And I'm just going to put the little eyeball on there so you can kind of see. I'm going to move this along with you live on air. So let me pull this up. And again, the potential for a tornado would be up there, passing just a little north of Demopolis. So we are carefully monitoring that as we've got a bit of a rotational signature pop up. So that is our Demopolis camera in North Marengo County. And you're looking northward. If there's a tornado, it's going to be somewhere in here. And it may be difficult to see because there's a lot of rain there. And I believe that might be the lights of Forkland. I think that's the lights of Forkland right there in the distance. So again, the tornado would pass basically between the lights here and the lights off there in the distance. So if we can see the lights of Forkland from that perspective, then potentially we could see if there's anything there. And that was a great lightning flash. So again, we got 2 tornadic thunderstorms are working here. The one that's in just northwest of Demopolis, and then there's one that's on the south side of Tuscaloosa. So tell you what, Nick, just keep a very close eye on that if you don't mind, if you see any reports coming out of that. So let's go back into the Tuscaloosa County storm and the possibility of a tornado that's just passed through Moundville. Again, we've got some trees down in downtown Moundville, and again, people trapped inside of a home on 2nd Avenue. Let's go to the velocity product and look at this. And again, I'm not seeing overwhelming sign of a tornado with that. I'm seeing more sign of some strong straight line wind. But again, it doesn't matter. It's something we need to watch. And this is a correlation coefficient. This is the debris tracker. And this is where we look for different size objects in the air. And I don't see anything clear. Now, there is a little bit of a drop right there, but I'm not so sure that would be tornado related. It's very noisy. I just don't see anything that's overwhelmingly impressive. But again, the tornado warning continues for that part of Hale County and Tuscaloosa County. There's Duncanville, the Hagler area. That's Highway 82. So if you're driving south of downtown Tuscaloosa towards the Duncanville area, and I think we've got a new tornado warning. Nick, where was that? Go ahead.
Hale County. So southern Hale County, as that storm is moving eastward, that's until 1:15 a.m. That is moving at 60 miles an hour.
All right, so they ended up putting, the southern end of the county in a tornado warning because of the potential is there for a developing tornado that's mostly south of Greensboro, but again, this is passing just north of Demopolis. So again, there's your new tornado warning polygon there that includes a good portion of southern and central Hale County. Includes technically downtown Greensboro all the way to Newbern to near about the the Hale and Marengo County line. So basically, if you are north of Highway 80, you need to be in shelter for the potential for a tornado that's going to be crossing Highway 43, not far from Forkland, if not just a hair to the south. It crosses the Black Warrior River. Again, that's the Tombigbee. This is the Black Warrior. That makes the outlines of Greene County and the western side of Hale County. That's why the county line looks so squiggly there, is because of that. So again, a possible tornado is there. Let's look at the velocity. And again, that's where your possible tornado would be. So it's crossing the Black Warrior River just north of Demopolis, between Demopolis and Forkland. It's going to cross, the Tombigbee is going to cross the Black Warrior shortly, then move into Hale County. Let's go to our Demopolis camera. Now we're in rain. So this is the Demopolis camera looking at towards that tornadic thunderstorm. And again, let me say this, if you're in downtown Demopolis, there's not really any threat for you right now. The potential for a tornado is to the north. So again, that's where that dangerous stuff, look at the wind, the curtains of wind and rain blowing off in the distance from Demopolis. So we got some really strong winds coming through downtown Demopolis right now, and those winds could be in excess of 65 to 70 miles per hour. So that is a dangerous thunderstorm, but I don't think we're going to be able to see any sign of a tornado. All right, go back to this. Let me just show you a watch warning map and kind of reset this. If you are west of this line of thunderstorms, I know technically this part of West Alabama is still in a tornado watch, but you are in the all clear now. The severe thunderstorm warning for Choctaw and Marengo, Perry, Bibb, Hale, eastern Tuscaloosa, far southeast Walker, Jefferson, and Coleman County, as well as Blount County. Those are severe thunderstorm warnings. We have two tornado warnings now, one for southern Tuscaloosa, northern Hale County, one for far southern Greene County, and southern Hale County. Those are tornado warnings. We have two of them across our part of West Alabama, as there is a potential for a tornado. All right, Demopolis camera. That's what it looks like there, very heavy rain. So let's go back over to Doppler radar. Let's go to southern Tuscaloosa County. And by the way, if I'm not talking about you, then that means you're okay in terms of a tornado. There's not one in your area, but I know we have really rough weather now that's coming into western Jefferson County. For our West Alabama counties, again, we focus on West Alabama. Our main concern is now the eastern part of Tuscaloosa County, all of Hale County, all of Marengo County, and again, the severe weather stretches down into Choctaw County, where places like Butler and Gilberttown, you'll deal with these damaging winds. I see no evidence of a tornado down there right now. So let's go back in tight to this tornadic thunderstorm that's now over Duncanville. So we're getting a brand new radar scan, and the potential for tornadoes over Highway 82 at Duncanville, approaching the Hagler area. Let me stop this loop. And again, it's moving off towards the east area at 55 miles per hour. And that's a fast motion. So that's what we got there. So let's look at the velocity product with this thing. And Nick, have they said anything about putting Bibb County in? Because this is just about out of the warning polygon.
They have not yet, but I will keep that up to date. Okay. As they continue to.
So, and again, there's not overwhelmingly strong evidence there's a tornado there. If you're in Sumter County, I can give you an all clear now. In fact, if you're anywhere in Tuscaloosa County to the northwest of Duncanville, you're now out of the severe weather threat, as this is moving on very quickly now. So again, if you're up here, let me stop this loop. If you are up here in Tuscaloosa, points northwest, there's no longer, here we go, there's no longer a severe weather threat. So technically a small part of Tuscaloosa County still under that tornado warning. But again, this is in far northeast Hale County. This is just about totally out of the county now. It will be out soon, but it's all south of Coaling, south of Vance, the Mercedes plant. Now, you've got some really bad weather coming through Coaling and Vance now. That's east of downtown Tuscaloosa. If you are in Brookwood, if you're over the Lakeview area, we got some really rough weather coming your way right now. And again, just checking. Just trying to check some of these reports right now. Yeah, it looks like everybody's got some really rough wind coming across the region. So, again, it's 12:49 now. Chief Meteorologist Richard Scott here. We got Nick Temple, who is in the studio with us as well. And we're monitoring a severe weather event where we have 2 tornado warnings. We're working in a slew of severe thunderstorm warnings. Now, we focus on West Alabama. This is our area. So once these storms move out of West Alabama, we can give you an all clear, and I'll tell you as we go along is who's in the clear and who's not, and who can go to bed for the night. But again, we still have a dangerous thunderstorm that could produce a tornado over Duncanville, approaching Hagler. That's Highway 82. Eolin's right there in Bibb County. Now, technically, Bibb County is not in the tornado warning, but if you are in West Blockton, just north of Brent, all right, over towards Woodstock, just in case, they could issue a tornado warning for that. But again, we want everybody that's ahead of this line of storms to treat these things serious. These things mean business. And again, a lot of you that have dealt with the storms tonight are reporting that very thing. So there's your dangerous thunderstorms. Let's go down to the south. I want to show you areas to the south and just kind of work up this line here. We got severe thunderstorm warnings for Choctaw County in West Alabama. That includes Butler, Gilbertown, Silas, Pennington. We got reports of really strong winds in Nanaflia, close to Ezel's Fish Camp. Again, this is not a tornadic thunderstorm, but could produce winds in excess of 60 miles per hour. This dangerous thunderstorm is coming through Jefferson now, Old Spring Hill, and Demopolis. We saw the Demopolis camera where the winds look ferocious and pouring rain there. Just can't see anything now outside of the Demopolis area where it is really coming down. But again, that intense thunderstorm approaching Linden, Dayton, and Thomaston. So you'll be impacted by this line of thunderstorms with a strong straight line wind issue rather than a tornado issue, but it doesn't matter. Falling trees can be very dangerous. To the north of Demopolis, to the north of Highway 80, that runs from Demopolis to Uniontown to Selma. If you are north of Uniontown, if you're north of Gallion Baptist Church, you need to be in shelter now for the potential for a tornado. This is going to impact Greensboro south to Gallion Baptist Church. This will include downtown New Bern, Highway 69, Highway 25, Highway 60. We want you to, if you're driving, please pull over and get to a safe place quickly. These storms are racing off towards the east at a very fast clip, so we need you in shelter if you're in this part of West Alabama. Let's go to the north, and again, technically a very small part of Tuscaloosa County is in this tornado warning, but I can tell you now the rotation is not that impressive. But it still needs to be treated as serious as this is a storm that could produce widespread damaging straight line winds. This is coming through Coaling now, through Brookwood now. Very intense, heavy rainfall, potentially some small hail issues coming through Brookwood. But if you're in Abernat, Woodstock, again, I would treat this thing, a Lakeview area, I would treat this thing like this could be producing a tornado, even though technically you're not in a tornado warning. Nick, I think they expired one of the warnings. Which one was that?
Yes, they expired Greene and they expired Sumter.
Okay, so the one that's moved out. I got
yes, We're getting some reports from Sumter now that there is quite a bit of some damage, some trees, some power lines down in both of those counties. And our power outage map has updated quite a bit as well. Looking at these numbers, about 15,000 in Tuscaloosa, so that number has continued to climb. Hale County, almost 3,000, so that's about half that county there. Walker County, about 7,000 without power. So as this storm is moving through, it's really knocking out the power from that wind and all the damage that it is causing. And that's expected as we're getting to more high-populated areas as well.
Yeah, and we mentioned that too, and the National Weather Service mentioned that as well, Nick, is you know, there's a lot of people that are out of power now. There's a lot of trees coming down across Alabama. And, you know, the reports are very slow to trickle in, but it now seems like it's kind of accelerating across our area. So, again, if you are in North Marengo County, we're getting a lot of people down here that are reporting power outages all the way down to Linden. I do see they put Perry County in a tornado warning as well. just ahead of this thunderstorm. And you see that, Nick, where they decided to go ahead and issue Perry County. So if you are in Marion, Hamburg, the Sprott area, you got a potential tornado that's coming your way. Let's go to the north, and so far they haven't extended the tornado warning into Bibb County, but if you're north of Bryn and Centerville, you've got a really dangerous thunderstorm coming in that could produce a strong straight-line winds in excess of 60 to 70 miles per hour. Again, Brookwood, you are under the gun now for this thunderstorm, but if you are in Tuscaloosa, Foster's, and Northwest, there's no longer a severe weather threat for you. This is in the far eastern part of the county here, and we're getting a brand new radar updates. We're letting the sweep come around. Let's see, 62 mile per hour wind measured at radar level in Vance. So Vance just had a 62 mile per hour wind reported there. See, 75 miles per hour in Huntsville. So again, there's your intense thunderstorm that's basically going up the interstate now into Jefferson County. If you are in Jefferson County or in Tuscaloosa County driving on the interstate, I would highly advise pull over and let this storm pass on by. It will not take long. It's going to race through the area. It's not going to take long, and it's going to be out of here. But if you are in East Tuscaloosa County trying to head to Birmingham, or Birmingham trying to head to Tuscaloosa, I would highly advise you to stop, let this storm pass, and then once it passes on, it's only going to last about 20 minutes of the most intense part, and then it's going to be over with. So again, let's look at the velocity product, and again, this is just about out of the county, so let's see if we see anything there. And, you know, Nick, I don't see any sign of rotation with this, so, you know, unless they... All right, we're getting strong rotation down to the south, though. Let's go into this. There we go. So this is a potential tornado that's down here in the southern part of Hale County. That's to the northeast of Demopolis, and this thing looks good in terms of rotation. Now, good is a bad thing. So again, we're looking at a potential tornado that's just north of Gallium Baptist Church. That's about to cross Highway 69 right now, and then it's going to cross Highway 25 just north of Laneville. But if you're in New Bern, you need to be in shelter now for the potential for a tornado that could be down in that area. And it looks like the Demopolis camera is down. We are not getting any data from Demopolis now. So looks like our Demopolis camera, either we have a power outage there, we aren't getting anything from Demopolis. All right, so again, we got a dangerous thunderstorm there in southern Hale County that is approaching New Bern. So if you are in New Bern, you need to be in shelter now for a likely tornado that could be developing here. Let's go over to our, what is this, storm relative, our base. That's our base velocity. So again, a developing tornado right over the Castmore area. That's near Laneville and just to the north. So tell you what, if you are in New Bern, I would be going to shelter right now for the potential for a tornado that looks quite ominous there. So look at the debris signature, and I don't see anything yet, but I imagine that could change at any time. So look at the lightning being produced by this. Not a tremendous amount of lightning from this thunderstorm there in southern Hale County, but certainly the rotation is there to be sufficient for potentially producing a tornado. The National Weather Service decided to extend the tornado warning into Perry County, and just ignore that. That is no longer there. They decided to cancel that because it's totally out of Sumter and Greene. But again, Nick, what was the time on that? Or I'm sorry, what was the forward speed on that tornadic thunderstorm in Hale County, southern Hale? You can find that for me. 55. It's moving due east, I would imagine.
Yes, east at 55.
Okay. So.
And they just continued it.
All right, so it's sitting right there, moving east at 55 miles per hour. Oh, let me redraw this. So that is where the potential tornado is going to be at different times. So New Bern, you need to be in shelter now. 104, this is what time the potential tornado could be over your area. This is coming towards the downtown Marion area in Perry County. That's 130. Radford and 142, and continues towards Jones area and then Bethel Grove later on in the morning. So again, that's what time this storm could be where you are. So we need you in shelter right now in southern Perry County, as this is a dangerous thunderstorm that could be producing a tornado. Pan off towards the north, we still got a tornado warning for southeast Tuscaloosa County. Looks like this storm should be out of the county in terms of any rotation. Let's look at it together and make sure. And again, I don't see any strong evidence of rotation. What's left of that has totally moved out of Tuscaloosa County. So I can safely say if you are in Tuscaloosa County with this storm, that you are now in the clear. But if you are in the Woodstock, Lakeview area, you still got some really strong damaging wind potential coming into the Lakeview area of southeast Tuscaloosa County. All right, so again, let's go down to the south. Again, this is encouraging that it's not looking as impressive as it once was. Again, a Boeing segment that's going to be coming up into the downtown Birmingham area. This includes Bibb County, Woodstock, West Blockton, Brent, Centerville. You'll be dealing with this intense line segment as it races off towards the east. It will be there quickly. It's not going to take long at all. Within the next 5-10 minutes, you will be dealing with this in Brent and Centerville. West Blockton, Woodstock, you're already dealing with this thunderstorm. We got a very dangerous storm that's down here in New Bern. Looks like it could be producing a tornado. Let me go down to the south into Marengo County. We got a very strong winds coming through the Linden area. Dayton, Thomaston, this is straight line winds. This is not tornado winds, but still it could knock down some trees. And then into, again, Choctaw County, you've got strong thunderstorms down here with strong winds coming through Needham and Gilberttown and Silas approaching the Coffeyville area. So again, we've got a dangerous storm that is very close to producing a tornado now. That is in southern Hale County. If you are in New Bern, we need you in shelter now. This is a very dangerous thunderstorm that could be producing a tornado. Let me put on the velocity product. And let's look at this thing together. Tight evidence of rotation over Cassmore there. That's on Highway 69. So if you're in New Bern, shelter now. If you're in Greensboro, I think you're okay in downtown Greensboro. This is going to be more to the south of downtown Greensboro in terms of a tornado. Now, you still got some powerful winds up here, but the tornado itself is going to be passing north of Fonsdale. Really from, if you're at Laneville North, you need to be in shelter. If you're in New Bern, shelter now. This is a dangerous thunderstorm that could be producing a tornado. Tell you what, while we do this, I want to go back over to a wide view. Nick, anything new coming up with power outages you're seeing?
Oh, yeah, power outage map continues to increase. We now have 64,000 across Alabama that is out right now, 15,000 now in Tuscaloosa, Perry County, Hale County, starting to see some, about 2,500. 700 in Marengo County. So as that line of storms is moving through, we're starting to see a lot more power outages and things like that. Definitely could see some trees down, seeing some reports as that. I've been checking social media and Twitter. I've been keeping up to date with Richard's live stream right here too, and a lot of you guys have been saying that you are seeing some power outages at your homes too and having trouble reporting it. So these numbers actually could be a lot higher as well. Definitely make your way to a part of your home that is away from a tree that could fall on it as well, as these damaging line winds are no joke right now, especially if there's not a tornado risk associated with you. You could still have a severe thunderstorm move through there that could cause just as much damage as well. So we're continuing to track that as we go through there. Just naming some places that need to be in their safe spot right now. New Bern definitely need to be in your safe spot moving through. Approaching Perry and Marion, so you definitely want to make your way into your safe spot, especially also southeast Tuscaloosa moving towards Bibb County. We haven't had any word of a tornado warning being issued at the moment, but that could develop here in just a few moments, so don't let off your guard. Tuscaloosa, I've been seeing a lot of comments on the Facebook Live as well. You guys are in the clear. Northport in the clear. Coker, Holt, all of you guys are in the clear. You're still going to see some rain behind the storms that did move through, but for right now, you are in the clear.
All right, and Russell Whedon, EMA Director down in Hale County. Nick mentioning power out in Gallion, Moundville, Lock 5, Greensboro, and Akron. So there's a big chunk of Hale County that is now out of power. And just checking. Lots of trees down north of Gallion, so we may have a tornado path that's north of Gallion now. So there's your line of thunderstorms. Again, if you are in Winston, Walker, Tuscaloosa, Greene, Sumter, Pickens, Fayette, Lamar, Marion counties. If you're in these counties, you are in the clear. There is no longer a tornado threat or severe weather threat for you. This threat is now shifting southeast. We still have Bibb County, eastern Hale County, Perry County, southern Marengo County, and eastern Marengo County. You are the last counties that are in the threat for this potential severe weather in our West Alabama counties. Understand there's still some rough weather through downtown Birmingham north. But again, we're going to focus on our West Alabama counties with these storms that are moving on through. So let's go back down to the south because we have damage being reported all over Hale County, or at least power outages being reported all over Hale County. And looks like we've got a lot of trees down. That's down there in southern Hale County, north of Gallion. And this looks like likely either a damaging wind or a tornado. And I tell you what, Nick, that looks like a tornado that's over New Bern now. It just has that look on the velocity. So let's go in tight. So again, if you are in New Bern, we need you in shelter now. This is a very dangerous thunderstorm that's about to cross into Perry County. And I tell you what, if you are in the southern part of Perry County, there's downtown Marion right there. So this potential tornado is coming through New Bern now. It's going to move across downtown Marion, maybe a hair south of downtown Marion. I know we got the Bartons that live down there. If you guys are in shelter, if you're not, you need to get in shelter now. So again, if you know the Bartons down there, give them a call and let them know there's a potential tornado, likely tornado developing that's going to move across that part of Perry County, right where you live, near downtown Marion or just to the south. This is a dangerous thunderstorm that could produce a tornado. Now, most likely this is not a powerful like EF2, EF3, EF4 type of tornado, but it really doesn't matter. This could be an EF0, EF1, and that is certainly a threat to life and property. So we need you in shelter. If you're in New Bern, it's too late. It's on top of you now. Hopefully you went to shelter about 20 minutes ago when we started talking about New Bern. You need to be in shelter now if you're in southern half of Perry County from downtown Marion south. That's where this thing's going to be going, all right? So let's look at the debris signature with this, and let's see if we have any sign of debris. And I don't see anything right now, but understand the radar beam is pretty high at this part of West Alabama, so you just may not be able to see it if there's anything down. And just checking with reports too. Hale County EMA Director mentioning lots of trees down again north of Gallion. I think they did expire the tornado warning for Tuscaloosa County, right? Did you see that, Nick? Or is that what just came across? Yes. County Road 12 looks like a lot of trees down there, so we could have a potential tornado path in Hale County, or either a strong pocket of straight line wind damage. So let's go back to a wide view. And again, show everybody out there in West Alabama. The most intense part of storms now. Go ahead, Nick.
The Hale County tornado warning was also canceled as well.
Okay, yeah, because it's moved the northern part of the county, right? Correct. Yeah, we had two tornado warnings in Hale County. It gets confusing when we get multiple warnings in one county. But again, for Tuscaloosa County West, you're now in the all clear. All the issues are to the southeast in Bibb, Perry, eastern Hale County, and now eastern Marengo County. And within about 30 minutes, you're going to be in the all clear too, and this is going to be totally out of West Alabama. Yes, we still have rain falling, probably some thunder back here, but that's not severe. Your leading edge of this line of thunderstorms is what is the most intense. And I do know there's quite a few tornado warnings up in North Alabama. I see those, and to southern Tennessee as well. But again, those are outside of our coverage area. So let's go in tight. Let's start you down into Marengo County. Let's work our way to the north. And again, Choctaw County, the storms are moving out of the county now. But let's start you off right down here. We've got intense thunderstorms coming up on Sweetwater, Dixon's Mill, Thomaston, Dayton area, up and down Highway 25 there towards the Sugner area. You're dealing with this intense thunderstorms. Let's go off towards the north. Also Magnolia, Thomaston. Want to mention you got this intense line of thunderstorms coming on through as we speak. So if you are in Dayton, Thomaston, the storms are on top of you now. I'm really concerned about this right here coming in downtown Marion. This is a dangerous thunderstorm. Again, if you are in Bibb County, Brent Centerville, the intense storms are coming through now with damaging straight line winds. But this down here to the south, that circular feature there, that hook, that's what we're looking at for a potential for a tornado. And yeah, there's no doubt this thing is impressive. So Highway 183 that runs into Highway 5 there, that is where this potential tornado is. There's downtown Marion. This is going to be coming right into downtown Marion. I think it's just north of the Bartons. This is a close call for you. If you are at Sprott, you need to go ahead and go to shelter now as this potential tornado is coming your way. So go ahead and get in shelter if you're in Sprott. All right, there's the Radford area. That's Highway 14 that runs from Sprott down to Radford, Settle, down into Dallas County. And there is a possible tornado there. It's not confirmed, but it's a potential for a tornado that could be down approaching Marion. All right, it is 10 minutes after 1 o'clock. Chief Meteorologist Richard Scott here. We have one tornado warning now in Perry County, and much of West Alabama beginning to quieten down in terms of what is going on. So I'm just watching our Facebook Live feed too. I know there are a ton of comments on there, Nick. I know you're doing a good job. Keep an eye on that as well. But again, our potential tornado right there coming up on Marion, Sprott, and Radford. You need to be in shelter right now. Let's pan to the north and just make sure I don't see any other sign of rotation with any of this, and I don't. Brent Centerville, you got some rough weather coming in. And then let's see, going into Shelby County, Helena area, Indian Springs Village, Pelham, you got some really rough weather coming in, and that's on top of downtown Birmingham. But I see no sign of a tornado in Shelby County. So that is what that looks like. So let's zoom out. Go over to Birmingham's radar. And let me just stop this loop here. What you got, Nick? Anything new?
Just an update on our power outage map right now. Hale County, almost the entire county is out of power. 5,000 of the 6,000 people are without power right there. So that storm that moved through Hale County definitely was producing very strong winds as it moved into Perry County. So
yeah, that's 5,000 structures.
I believe so.
Yeah, that's not necessarily people. That's actually individual homes and businesses. So that is a substantial number of residences out of power there in Hale County. What about Tuscaloosa County?
17,000. So those numbers are continuing to increase quite a bit. Walker County up to 8,000. So power outages seems to be a big impact here, and that's also consistent with the Facebook Live chat as well.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people on there mentioning no power. So, the good thing is we have the potential, the technology now to where we're on multiple platforms, Facebook Live, website stream, app, TV. You can get us different ways instead of just purely television. So that's one good thing is you can get our information. So if you do lose power, you're not left in the dark without information. But again, our main concern now is eastern Marengo County into western and central Perry County into central Bibb County. The rest of West Alabama, you are now in the all clear in terms of severe weather. There's no longer issues. So, all right, so the rotation is moving into downtown Marion right now. So if there is a tornado down, we're going to know about it really fast. Let's look at the debris signature and see if we see anything. And I see nothing there. Look at the velocity. And again, still that evidence of rotation. And we'll be getting a new scan here in just a few moments. Yeah, there's a lot of people out of power now. Goodness. What is that?
72,000 total.
72,000 in Alabama. Was that what it was? 70? Wow, that is a pretty big number of power outages, and that number has come up. Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, so Weather Service, just to reiterate, has now canceled the following 9 counties: Fayette, Marion, Tuscaloosa, Greene, Pickens, Walker, Lamar, Sumter, and Winston. Just putting that out there because I know a lot of people keep asking in the comments if they're clear. Those counties now have canceled their tornado watch.
Yeah, let's just show you that, Nick. Let's actually let me go back to the watch warning map. So here's a look at radar. And this QLCS quasi-linear convective system, again, a squall line, continues to race eastward now, stretching from southern Choctaw County through Marengo into Perry, Bibb, Jefferson, Shelby counties. And this thing's moving very quickly now. So let's go over to radar, and let me show you the watch warning map and just kind of reset things for a moment here. Again, you see that Coleman, as you mentioned, I just want to show a visual here, Coleman, Walker, Tuscaloosa, Greene County, Sumter County, Pickens, Fayette, Lamar, Marion, Winston counties no longer under a tornado watch. We've got a tornado warning that continues in our area for Perry County only. Severe thunderstorm warning continues for Marengo County, eastern Hale County, all of Perry County, all of Bibb County. Again, that's in our West Alabama counties. Again, we focus on West Alabama. I know there's other counties in Central and East Alabama in severe thunderstorm warnings, but our focus is going to be over here in the western side of the state. But again, if you are in Perry County, you need to be in shelter for the potential for a tornado. Let's get back over to radar and let's go in tight to that tornado warning. And let me stop this loop. And as we do that, again, there's your line of intense thunderstorms now that could be producing a tornado in Perry County. Again, if you're in Linden, westward, you're okay now. Demopolis, you're in all clear, just some rain there. And look, it's going to rain for a little while as these storms, the leading edge moves off towards the east. It's still going to rain for a while. But the most dangerous thunderstorm we've got is this one that's right here in downtown Marion. We'll put on the velocity product. And let's just look at that together. Well, let me zoom out. So again, the potential for a tornado, this is right over Marion now. And this thing means business as it's coming on through. I'm just checking a radar on my end too. There we go. There's a new update. So looks like the rotation may be weakening, but again, it's right there on the east side of Marion right now. So that is an interesting thunderstorm. So this thing could still be producing a tornado now passing over the eastern side of the county. In Perry County. So if you are north of Hamburg, now you still got some strong winds coming through the southern end of the county, but if there's a tornado, it's going to be really shooting the gap between Radford and Sprott on Highway 14. Next up, Osborne, then Panhandle. You see Valley Grande, that's over in Dallas County. That'll be north of there. So the potential for a tornado, again, right there coming up on Radford, that's Highway 14. You need to be in shelter now for a potential for a tornado. Now, we'll say this, I don't see strong screaming evidence that there's a tornado down with that right now based off the new radar look. It just does not really have that look it did just a moment ago. So again, here's our radar. You're in all clear now if you are west of downtown Birmingham. If you are west of Brent in Centerville, you're in the all clear now. If you are west of Marion, again, things are improving quickly. If you are in Marengo County, I can tell you Marengo County, conditions are quickly going to improve as well. So again, a lot of reports of power outages now, a lot of reports of some trees down all over the area. Let's go to the reports so far. and just see what all we've got. And again, these are going to add up. A lot of these, the reports we've mentioned, have not been officially uploaded by the National Weather Service. And once those do, you'll see these dots pop up all over the screen here. But that's the latest on that. Let's go back over to radar. And let's go to, start you off in Marengo County. Let's work our way to the north. So again, conditions are already beginning to improve in Thomaston now, and in eastern Marengo County, Dayton, and Fonsdale, things are beginning to get a little better. You're still going to have some rain and thunder for a little while, but in terms of a severe weather risk, it's come to an end. Given all clear for Choctaw County too. Still got a tornado warning for Perry County in west central Alabama. There's your tornado warning polygon, but again, based off of what I'm seeing, it's not as impressive as it once was. But this is going to be out of Perry County, most likely within the next 15 to 20 minutes, the danger. Let's go to the north. Again, very rough weather coming through Heiberger now. If you are at 6 Mile, if you're east of Brendan Centerville, you've still got some bad weather coming. Damaging straight line winds could bring down some trees and power lines. And then this stretches over into Shelby County towards Alabaster and Hoover. You're dealing with that. So again, our only concern now is into southeast Bibb County. If you're over 6 Mile area, let me stop this loop here and zoom in a little tighter. So again, there's some of the communities in the path of this severe thunderstorm in Bibb County. Again, this is not a tornadic thunderstorm, but it could produce winds of 60 to 70 miles per hour. And this thing is coming into eastern Bibb County now. Brent, still some rough weather there, but again, conditions will improve very quickly. If you are in Perry County, the only areas concerned now are from Heiberger eastward. That's Highway 5. In fact, there's the Cahaba River that snakes down to the south out of Bibb County through Perry County. If you're along and east of the Cahaba River, still got some really bad weather coming your way. Adler area, Okmulgee, there's a Panhandle community, and there's still your tornado warning polygon that includes Sprott, Radford, and really the eastern side of the county. That's Highway 219 that runs out of Bibb County. Let's see, if you are west of Marion, downtown Marion, you're going to be in all clear now. Over in Jefferson County, multiple reports of trees down in Adamsville and Concord. Just want to mention that. Let's see. Hoover PD saying they've lost their 911 lines. So again, there's a lot of trees coming down with these thunderstorms, and it's a pretty rough night for a lot of us. We got Nick here with us too, Nick, and any updates on your end?
I've been looking to see if we have any reports on social media. Like you said, a lot of trees down. It's affecting our power lines too. That power outage map continues to update. We now have 82,000 across Alabama without power, approaching 20,000 here in Tuscaloosa, about 2,000 in Bibb, 5,000 in Hale. So a lot of power outages as that continues to move across. The good news is, in terms of West Alabama, we are approaching near the end of the severe threat. Got another report in Adamsville, tree along power line both down. So it seems to be pretty consistent with trees and power lines being what has fallen over with this event.
Yeah, and this line, really beefed up. Goodness, we were watching this thing for a while, and the lack of reports out of Mississippi kind of had us not really let our guard down yet, but it kind of gave us a bit of a hope that maybe this thing won't be as bad. And we've had a lot of trees knocked down across the area. Now, the tornado issues have been very isolated, so that's good. We've only had one area really of concern that was down in Hale County that may have had a tornado damage, but quite frankly, the one that was for Tuscaloosa and northern Hale County, I don't know if anything actually touched down there. We'll be able to get that information in the coming days from the National Weather Service office in Birmingham. But again, right now, I do feel fairly confident there may have been a tornado touchdown in southern Hale County, just north of Gallion. So again, we're watching that. So again, just to kind of reset real quick, if you are just now joining us, 124, I'm Chief Meteorologist Richard Scott. We've got, again, Nick Temple here in the studio with us as well. And we're just about done with this event for our West Alabama counties. Again, we focus on West Alabama severe weather. That's where we are. We stay here. And once it moves out of West Alabama, we can go back over to program, and we're getting close to that point. Darius, I know you're in the control room, so just a heads up, here in the next probably 15 minutes, we can probably go back over to program as this moves out of our West Alabama counties. But if you are, again, just to kind of reset, if you are in Winston, Marion, we'll just work our way down, Walker, Fayette, Lamar, Tuscaloosa, Pickens, Hale County, Greene County, Sumter County, or Marengo County, we can give you an all clear. Now, still pretty rough down in far southeast Marengo County, but for the most part, the worst weather has moved on pretty quickly. We've got power lines down on Highway 25. Again, speaking with Russell Whedon, with the EMA director down in Hale County. We've got a lot of issues down there in the southern part of the county. I do think we may have had a tornado touchdown. Either that or some really extreme straight line winds. We'll be able to see some of the damage tomorrow as we get into daylight and be able to kind of determine how bad it really was down there in Hale County. But again, we've got scattered damage all over West Alabama and central Alabama now as these storms do continue to move off towards the east direction. Let's go back down into Bibb County and work our way down, because that's it in our West Alabama counties, Bibb and Perry, that's left. So again, intense thunderstorms in the now eastern half of the county. Let's look at the velocity product and just kind of see if there's any screaming evidence of a tornado. And the evidence we had of a tornado has really weakened quite a bit. I just do not see as much. In fact, the Weather Service office in Birmingham is saying they don't see a TDS or a tornado debris signature. They're planning on issuing downstream a severe thunderstorm warning and not a tornado warning. So that's they're going to issue a severe thunderstorm down here based off the fact they just don't see anything happening. So the rotation has really weakened quite a bit. See no evidence of debris. So let's go out to a wide view. And I'm just curious of the lightning amount from these thunderstorms being produced here in West Alabama. And let's just see how much lightning from East Alabama all the way down the line here, down into southern Marengo. And 229 strikes, that's in the past 15 minutes. And again, that's over the entire central Alabama area. So all the way up and down this line, 229 strikes, which isn't overwhelmingly high. I have seen that number in excess of 5,000 before. But again, we're not seeing a tremendous amount of lightning right now. There's certainly some. There's pockets with more than others. But again, that's what we're looking at there. Let me clear this data off. And again, this I can give an all clear for Marengo County now. Looks like the worst of the weather has moved out of the county. Get Thomasville area, Fulton, you're dealing with that now. Let's take Birmingham's radar. And tell you what, let me go in a little tighter. So again, Marengo County will give you an all clear. The severe weather issues have ended for the county. Hale County will give you an all clear. You're okay now. All the issues now in far eastern Perry and far eastern Bibb County. And just only for another, say, 10 minutes or so, this is going to be out of the county. It moved into Dallas and Chilton counties across central Alabama. So again, we've got still some rough weather coming through Bibb County and Perry County. Let's go to the north into Bibb County. Show you where we're talking about. Brennan Centerville, the worst of the weather has moved on past you. But again, we got 6 Mile Trio. That's Highway 139. It runs from the Briarfield area to Oakley, Bibb Mill, Randolph, Sand Mountain. And again, we got intense thunderstorms coming through there, as well as up towards Montevallo into Shelby County. And again, this weather's rough. It's going to produce a lot of wind and could knock some trees down. So just a heads up for you. It's a pretty noisy thunderstorm coming on through. Let's go to, let's look at the watch warning map one more time. And here's what we've got. Again, still the tornado warning there technically for eastern Perry County. However, we just don't see any sign of any major rotation. So we've got quite a bit of damage that's going on in southern Hale County. And the EMA down there, emergency management down there, is going to look at the damage and kind of determine how bad it was and what has happened. And they're going to let us know the type of damage, and it really lines up very perfectly with that area rotation. So most likely we did have a tornado touchdown down there in southern Hale County. And what we'll do is tomorrow and the next several days, the National Weather Service office, they'll go and look at all this damage and determine what was tornado damage, what was severe thunderstorm wind damage, and what all has happened out of that. So again, that is the latest update. Nick, I want to go to you for power outages. What are you seeing as the latest for the entire state and then for West Alabama?
So for the entire state, we're about at 95,000, so quite a bit of some power outages. You mentioned Hale County, again, almost 5,000 power outages for them. That's almost the entire county. The entire West Alabama, all of those counties are seeing plenty of power outage data. Perry County is now seeing about 1,200 people without power. Bibb County, about 2,500 people without power. So power outages continue to be persistent across West Alabama. Even in Jefferson County, already seeing about 15,000. I know we don't cover them, but definitely seeing a lot of power outages and some reports. And even in the chat, seeing a lot of trees down associated with some power lines, and that's probably why we're seeing so many, is because it doesn't take much to knock a lot of people out, like you were saying earlier.
Yeah, one thing, Nick, is the ground is wet and quite saturated, so we're seeing all these trees come down, and it's not really surprising that 50, 60, 70 mile an hour winds will knock a lot of trees down in a setup like this, and maybe not as much as we were just coming out of a drought, but we just had a ton of rain, and it's going to knock trees down. So still have wind advisory, by the way, for all these counties to the west. I want to go to our, tell you what, let me step off real quick. I want to go over to our Brian Denny camera, and I'm just curious as to what the air temperature is outside. And Nick, will you change that box up a little bit? So this is what it looks like from Tuscaloosa. Wind is out of the west-northwest at 20 miles per hour. So it is certainly still breezy outside. Let's go to our Fayette camera. Temperature 59. So it's cooled off in Fayette. So again, we're beginning to see that. Let me go back to our Brian Denny camera. Tuscaloosa got the camera back in focus now. And hey, conditions look a lot better here. The really bad weather we had come through, the damaging winds, has come to an end. This is the wind gust across the region. And just curious what we got behind the front. Looks like winds kind of drop off just a bit back in Mississippi. Gusts are not as high. But it's interesting, you can see that wind shift line there. Look at that, Nick. You see where the wind shift line is along that line of thunderstorms, where you have winds out of the south ahead of it, becoming west right behind it. So again, just reset things, a watch warning map. Conditions are beginning to improve all over West Alabama now, and we'll likely see that continue over the next hour or so as this event comes to an end across Alabama. And that is it. That's your line of thunderstorms. Still got some rain falling out there, but the heavy stuff is beginning to move on out, and we are very thankful for that. All right, so again, just to recap, and I'll tell you what, Darius, I know you're in the control room. We're about to go back over the program here in just a moment. it looks like they did cancel more of the tornado watch. So Marengo, Hale County, you're now out of the tornado watch. We still have severe thunderstorm warnings across much of East Alabama. But again, this event is coming to an end in West Alabama. So let's go over to radar one more time. And I know technically you still see that tornado warning polygon in Perry County. The threat has now ended for Perry County. In fact, you are now in the all clear. If you are watching us down in Perry County, Bibb County still got some rough weather in the southern part of the county, but it's beginning to move out in Chilton County. And again, this event is coming to an end for West Alabama. So tell you what, for our TV viewers, we're going to go back over to programming right now. So Darius, just let me know when you guys are ready, and we will go back over to program. Okay, all right. So for our TV friends, we're going to let you go. This event has come to an end for West Alabama. We'll compile the damage reports tomorrow, get that information to you. So keep an eye on our social media platforms, and we will update you. So again, for our TV friends, we'll see you later. For social media and website stream, hang out with us for just a couple more minutes. All right, for Facebook folks, appreciate you guys hanging out with us tonight and all the reports. If you have any damage reports, I'm going to post on Facebook. If you will comment on that. In fact, I'll make a special post just asking for damage pictures or information. So comment on my post, let me know what you got, and we'll get that to the National Weather Service too and pass all that information. So y'all have a wonderful what is Sunday morning. You'll have a wonderful Sunday morning. We'll see you tomorrow night live at 10 o'clock. Nick Temple will be in at 10. Again, I'll update our social media platforms and let you know what all's happened and those damage reports. So y'all have a good night. We'll see you later.